Chapter 832. Luo Feng turned off the large scanning device and slowly approached. This obviously made the black-armored youth and the others feel uneasy. Why didn't the opponent use the large scanning device? Did they give up? Young, I've already checked. The Nashi race in the outer region battlefield belongs to the demon camp. Haha. Thank you, Kutua. This is a small matter. Young, if you ever come to the Star Tower, you have to find me. There are simply too many emperors from other races in the Star Tower. With your initial emperor-level strength, it's still very dangerous for you to travel alone. Thanks. Luo Feng smiled within the ship's control room. The reason he slowly approached and didn't rush into battle was because he was waiting for Ku Tuo's reply. He had used the large scanning device to confirm that the opponent was from the Nashi race. However, the Nashi race was obviously very rare in the outer region battlefield. It was very hard to confirm which camp they belonged to. Luo Feng couldn't confirm it. However, he had many friends and friends at friends too. With this connection, it naturally formed a large network. Luo Feng asked Ku Tuo. Ku Tuo knew many Emperor-level warriors. With a casual contact, he easily found out that the Nashi race was part of the demon race because there were Emperor-level undyings who used a scanning device to discover that the Nashi race warriors were on the same ship as the demon race warriors. So it's the demon camp. That automaton warrior only placed a bounty on me within his camp. Also, different camps are forbidden from communicating with each other. That's a betrayal of the camp. Death is certain, and he's a member of the demon camp. He has no way of contacting the automaton camp. The two have different communication systems. With this, I'll be safe with the golden horned beast. Luo Feng smiled. My chances of getting the treasures have increased by a few times. Irina, prepare to move. Yes, master. Wong. In the air, densely packed tiger insect kings suddenly appeared, all of them radiating a ferocious aura. Any one of these tiger insect kings was much stronger than ordinary world overlords. In the center of the countless tiger insect kings, there was a malevolent-looking mother nest. She had to precisely control 1,000,000 bugs. Even Alina couldn't stay in her inner world any longer. Listen to my orders. Luo Feng ordered. Yes. Irina's consciousness replied from within the mother nest. Irina was Luo Feng's sole slave. The two of them had a special connection. They didn't need to communicate to each other. With the 1,000,000-strong insectoid king core, it's like having a peerless weapon in hand. Luo Feng could clearly feel the position of the treasure. It was naturally the black-armored youth's position. The only weakness is other people won't just stand there and let the bug army attack. Hence, they have to cooperate with the best scanning devices and at the same time be careful. The bug army's defense is too weak. Yes, he actually secretly moved? Luo Feng grinned. These are the exact coordinates. Luo Feng ordered, Alina, the 1,000,000 Emperor army, attack with all their might. Yes, master. Buzz, at the center of the 1,000,000-strong insect army, the mother nest sent out 1,000,000 consciousnesses to control all the insect kings. At this time, the millions of insect kings were of one mind. Each of them had a huge energy ball on their claws. An energy ball was not something an undying expert would care about. However, if 1,000,000 of them gathered, even a peak-stage Regis Godfiend might die if they were hit. Xiao, 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 xiao. Countless balls of light instantly flew out, like countless fiery meteors streaking across the sky. As they flew, they gradually gathered together. After flying for hundreds of thousands of kilometers, they directly gathered into a beam of light that caused one's heart to palpitate. The universe space was extremely fragile in front of this beam of light, constantly collapsing and shattering. It's being attacked. The marquee immortal plant life form, swallow flower, which covered hundreds of thousands of kilometers and pierced through the mountain range, had long released its law domain. The law domain covered a radius of over 10,000 kilometers, allowing it to immediately discover the terrifying attack. However, it was already too late. The distance was too close. Rumble. The blinding rainbow light that made Luo Feng's heart tremble struck the densely packed, countless flower petals. It was as though it was destroying everything. Just like a strand of hair touching a flame, it would immediately turn to ash. The flower petals were the same. Against this terrifying attack that even an Emperor Pinnacle warrior was terrified of, the flower petals immediately turned to ash. That thick rainbow light continued to penetrate deeper into the mountain range. The rainbow light was getting more and more compressed. After penetrating the flower petals for over 100,000 kilometers, the rainbow light that was compressed to its limit finally exploded. First silence. The land and skies seemed to have gone silent. Following closely, rumble, the mountain range the black-armored youth was hiding in completely disintegrated. Countless rocks were reduced to nothingness, and even more rocks were swept into the spatial layers by the spatial shrapnel. The countless petals of the plant life swallow flower were also instantly annihilated. This was true annihilation. Countless petals were annihilated. Fortunately, it was large enough, with a diameter of hundreds of thousands of kilometers. If it had been any smaller, it would have most likely been finished. The explosion traveled over 200,000 kilometers and struck the F9 grade ship. Sila, the ship barely withstood the attack for a moment before finally breaking apart. The terrifying energy rushed straight into the interior of the ship. The black-armored youth was so shocked that he kept his 2 servants into his world ring. He alone hid in a cabin and withstood the attack. Rumble, rumble, rumble. After a few cabins were destroyed by the powerful energy, the terrifying energy finally dissipated. Good, what a terrifying attack. The black-armored youth looked at the cabin that already had cracks in it. His expression changed. At such a distance, to be able to destroy the F9 grade ship, even an Emperor Pinnacle warrior's full-powered attack doesn't have such power. Is this the Bug Clan's attack? The Bug Clan's bug wave attack, amongst the trillions of races in the universe, was terrifying. Enslaving the Bug Clan, the black-armored youth fiercely rushed out of the ship, following which his fists became blurs. Without much technique, he forcefully shot out beams of incredibly strong, undying energy towards where the energy attack came from. Immediately, thousands of beams of undying energy shot out. This caused his undying energy to be almost emptied out. However, that didn't matter. As long as an undying didn't burn his energy, as long as his energy wasn't destroyed, then after the attack was sent out, it would still return to his body. Because the undying energy was infused with his consciousness, it was already his own. This was the power of an undying. Thousands of beams of undying energy shot over. Luo Feng saw this and laughed. This Nashi youth is really smart. The first thing he thought of was the Bug Clan's attack. However, I know the Bug Clan's weakness. Why would I give you a chance? Shio, 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 shio. Countless beams of undying energy pierced through the sky. However, they hit the air, flying for a while before hitting the distant mountain ranges. As for their target, the Bug Clan army, Luo Feng had already absorbed them into his internal world the moment the Bug Clan army had unleashed their attack. The Bug Clan army was his trump card. He couldn't be careless. After all, those Emperor warriors all had the ability to destroy the Bug Clan army. Hence, he had to be careful. The moment they were destroyed, Alina would die, and his trump card would be gone. Nashi Clan's pitiful punk prepare to die. Luo Feng immediately vanished, simultaneously passing the Wuyu wings to the golden-horned beast within his internal world. Immediately, a silver-feathered beast appeared in midair. So, its wings flapped. With just 3 flaps, it became a glaring rainbow light and flew towards its target 1 million kilometers away. The moment it attacked, it would definitely be a killer move. Hence, Luo Feng naturally wanted to use the fastest speed to finish off the opponent. When Luo Feng transformed into the golden-horned beast and swiftly flew over, the black-armored youth who had unleashed his attack but felt like it didn't succeed frowned, fiercely waving his hand. Immediately, 2 servants appeared around him. Let's split up and release our origin law domains. We can't rely on our equipment to detect the opponent. We can only rely on our origin law domains. The black armored youth ordered. Yes, your majesty. The two official-level undyings, even though they were terrified by the wave of attacks from before, knew they had no other choice. So, the three warriors of Anashi clan split up in three different areas, simultaneously releasing their origin law domains, enveloping a 10,000 kilometers area. Without knowing the opponent's position, they couldn't even escape. Hence, they could only fight it out. Relax. The reason why the opponent's attack was so strong was probably because of the Bug Clan army's combined attack. The black armored youth communicated, and that kind of strong attack, the Bug Clan army would have to accumulate energy before attacking together. Each time takes some time. And I've already counterattacked. I think the Bug Clan army has been retracted. Every few moments, they'll attack in that general direction to scare the opponent. He can't bear to part with the Bug Clan army. So, in the distance, a flower flew over. Yanhua. The black armored youth's expression changed slightly. Master, I lost 62% of my undying body. Luckily, when I blocked the attack before I realized something was wrong, the other petals immediately dispersed and fled in all directions. That's how I survived with 38% of my undying body. I'll need many years to recover. Yanhua replied. The black armored youth sighed within. That wave of attack just now was so strong. The flower's diameter was close to 1 million kilometers, and one side had just blocked the attack. Realizing something was wrong, the other petals dispersed and fled. That's how I survived with 38%. Enemy. A marquis servant hurriedly transmitted his voice. The black armored youth's face fell, and he immediately had the swallow flower fuse into his body. Looking over, he saw a silver-winged behemoth fly towards him in a rainbow of light. The powerful pressure it exuded, its enormous size caused one's heart to tremble. Silver Wing King. The black armored youth shouted. Silver Wing King, I'm from the automaton camp. An expert has put a bounty on your head. Don't force me. The black armored youth thought to himself, I don't have many experts from the consciousness race who entered the extraterritorial battlefield. This Silver Wing King probably won't be able to confirm if I'm from the automaton camp in a short time. While he was wandering the Yinji continent, he had naturally heard some of the automaton camp's discussions through his detector. They had mentioned the bounty, and he knew about the Silver Wing King's bounty. Brat from the demon camp, you want to trick me? Die. A rumbling voice sounded in his mind. At the same time, the huge silver figure flew over. Fight! The black armored youth shouted, gritting his teeth. So. He led two of his servants and immediately went up to meet them. On Monday, don't forget to vote for Tomato, hee. Chapter 833. The golden-horned beast's wings flapped, unleashing the universe traversal 3 times, instantly leaving behind a curved path in midair. Those silver wings were like sharp blades slicing towards the black armored youth, only to see the space being sliced apart like tofu, a silver rainbow light streaking across the sky. Die! The golden-horned beast's eyes gleamed fiercely. The moment it started, it unleashed its pinnacle technique. Wung. The black armored youth that was rushing over suddenly stopped, simultaneously pointing at Luo Feng. His ruby-like eyes gleamed fiercely. Go and die. Immediately, a slender black thread appeared in midair. This black thread was like a slender black snake, about 10 kilometers long and only half a meter thin. With the golden-horned beast's vision, it could naturally see that this wasn't a black thread, but a long black chain formed from multiple segments. It could be considered a long whip. The 10 kilometers long black whip hung in midair. Like a steel lock, it blocked the golden-horned beast. Who? The black whip became blurry in midair. The silver wings immediately slashed at the black whip. Chi. The whip was immediately knocked away. However, it constantly rubbed against the silver wings, strangely affecting the power of the attack. The golden-horned beast had a feeling that it was sometimes fast and sometimes slow, as though the flow of time was changing. It forcefully broke the concept of the golden-horned beast's attack. The flow of time has changed. The golden-horned beast flapped its wings and floated in mid-air. Its dark golden eyes stared coldly at the black armored youth. Silver Wing Emperor. The black armored youth floated in mid-air, looking at the distant huge beast. Right now, the automaton warriors are after you with a bounty on your head. You still dare to appear in Yenji continent? If I were you, I would have left Yenji continent long ago. I advise you to leave quickly. Time laws. The golden-horned beast let out a low voice. Right? The black-armored youth smiled and nodded. You should know that powerhouses who are skilled in the laws of time are extremely skilled at escaping. You might be able to suppress me, but it is impossible for you to kill me. You are doomed to have wasted your efforts. The other two servants stood behind the black-armored youth. Working for nothing? The golden-horned beast spoke, its voice rumbling. When he created the pinnacle of the bright moon technique, the primal Chaos City leader had arranged for many foreign warriors to be killed one by one. Amongst them were those proficient in the time laws. Luo Feng was very clear on how troublesome it was to deal with these warriors. Even though it was troublesome, Luo Feng still had some experience dealing with them. If you don't believe me, give it a try, the black-armored youth said softly. His ruby-like eyes suddenly lit up. Chi. The formless spirit attack immediately attacked the golden-horned beast. In an instant, it pierced through the general armor of the golden-horned beast. The material of the general armor was special. It had a shocking resistance against the hollowified, undying energy, instantly blocking over 99% of the attack. The remaining bit of the attack, under the roar of the beast god within the golden-horned beast, the soul defense secret art beast deity roar had almost dissipated the remaining soul attack. The remaining attacks did not affect the small-sized beast deity at all. There were many materials that could block soul attacks, and this was also related to the level of telekinesis. Back when Luo Feng was still a normal fighter on Earth, he hadn't even reached the Star Traveler level. At that time, his spiritual force couldn't even penetrate metal. Normal metals could already block spirit energy. As his strength grew, his powerful spirit energy could penetrate metal to examine it. Like the UNMO planet ship, it could block soul attacks from those below undying level. The weaker the spirit energy, the easier it was to block. As for undying, to block undying soul attacks, materials were already rare and precious, and the blocking efficiency was also different. Like the general armor that blocked over 99% of soul attacks, this was simply too mysterious. This treasure was definitely one of the top treasures in the universe. Even the knights probably couldn't take out such a treasure. Howl! The golden-horned beast roared and rushed at the black-armored youth. Wong! Wong! The black whip slid in mid-air. Time flowed faster and slower at times. The golden-horned beast, however, let out a savage roar, simultaneously unleashing the three universe vibrations, flickering time and time again, constantly changing positions. Bastard! The black-armored youth's expression changed. Controlling the flow of time usually meant controlling the flow of time within a certain area. If the golden-horned beast was trapped by the whip and couldn't move, then the black-armored youth would have a much easier time. But now that the golden-horned beast was using its speed and constantly changing locations, it forced the black-armored youth to constantly control the flow of time in different areas. This was extremely taxing. Trap him, the black-armored youth ordered. Yes, Your Majesty. One of the two official-level servants controlled a dense amount of silver threads. There were over 10,000 of them, covering the sky and land as they enveloped the golden-horned beast. The other official servant controlled the barrier that was like flowing water. The barrier broke through the air and tried to envelop the golden-horned beast. This Nashi youth wants to trap me first, binding me in this small space. When that happens, he'll either fight me or flee. I'll let him choose. Luo Feng looked at the two official servants and understood the black-armored youth's battle style. Countless silver threads wrapped over. The water barrier enveloped over. You two official servants dare to mess with me. The golden-horned beast roared lowly, fiercely exploding, causing the vast frozen ground to tremble. The ground and the ice on the mountain immediately split apart. So, so. The golden horned beast's speed rose to its limit. So fast it left everyone dumbfounded, and it constantly changed its flight path. The silver threads and the water barrier couldn't even touch the golden horned beast. How is it so fast? It's ridiculously fast. Our spirit weapons can't even catch up to it. The two official Undyings stared dumbfounded. The black-armored youth was astonished as well. In terms of instantaneous speed and speed changes, even a peak-stage, kink-conferred expert wouldn't be able to do that, right? How could he know how powerful the Wu murdering wings was when it came to flying and dodging? You two foreign pawns will die first. Who? The flight path suddenly changed. The golden-horned beast actually flew towards the two official Undyings. The two official Undyings were controlling their spirit weapons from afar, yet they couldn't even save themselves in time. Careful. The black-armored youth immediately controlled the black whip, at the same time trying to keep the two official Undyings into his world ring. But the moment he drew out a thread of world energy, it was completely dissipated by the golden-horned beast's wings. Ho! Facing the obstruction of the black whip, the golden-horned beast's right wing directly blocked the black whip, while its left wing was like a 100 kilometers long, huge blade, fiercely slashing past. Wah! It left a 10,000 kilometers long silver rainbow mark in space, not dissipating for a long time. Pong! The two official Undyings immediately exploded. In that instant, one of the official Undyings once again condensed. Luo Sha. This official Undying's expression changed greatly, saying in fear, Luo Sha is dead. Luo Sha is dead. What? The distant black-armored youth's expression changed greatly. Your Majesty, Luo Sha is dead. I lost 6% of my undying body. Luo Sha was a high-level official, and he was actually killed in one move. The surviving servant said in fear, This silver-wing emperor has the strength of an emperor pinnacle. It was possible for an emperor level to kill an official level, but it would take a lot of time. What they didn't know, the golden horned beast itself was actually an emperor level, but with the Wu slaying wings, it could match an emperor pinnacle in terms of killing power. Emperor pinnacle. The black-armored youth's expression changed. An emperor proficient in space laws should be able to teleport. If this silver wing emperor could teleport, I would be in dire straits. But he didn't, but his flying speed is unbelievably fast. He probably didn't study teleportation in detail, but rather other aspects of space laws. Emperor Pinnacle, we can't mess with him. If he went all out and burned part of his body, I would be dead. The black-armored youth gritted his teeth. Flee. The black-armored youth was completely shocked. One of his two servants, an official-level official, was actually killed in one move. This was too terrifying. Silver Wing Emperor. The black-armored youth roared, his voice piercing through the undying energy and exploding in the golden-horned beast's ears. Ho! The golden-horned beast turned, its huge eyes looking at the tiny person. Freeze! The black-armored youth's ruby-like eyes suddenly shot out two beams of misty red light. The two beams of light flew out and rapidly expanded, covering a few hundred-kilometer radius around the golden-horned beast. Under this strange red light, the golden-horned beast actually froze in place. So, the black-armored youth turned and fled. His speed continued to rise, following a straight line as he fled. Time stopped. The moment the golden-horned beast was hit, it understood. Even though its body was affected by the time stop, its consciousness could still think. However, it couldn't move, its wings couldn't move, its eyes and ears were fine, but it couldn't hear or see anything. Everything was dark and silent. This was a dark and silent world. Only the consciousness wasn't affected. Once hit by the time stop, there were usually two moves to break it. One move was when one was proficient in the time laws. The other was when a warrior who hadn't trained in the time laws relied on his own strength to break it. Break! 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 Luo Feng's consciousness roared. The golden-horned beast's entire body was roaring with all its might, Naturally, it began to explode with power. The Wu's slaying wings, too, were trembling, almost like they were bound by a formless rope. Pung! Almost as though something had collapsed. His eyes immediately saw the vast frozen land, the distant mountains that had been destroyed by the bug army. His ears could hear the howling of the wind. Flee? You think you can flee? The golden-horned beast immediately sensed the treasure's exact location. It was already over 1,000,000 kilometers away. Chapter 834. Not good. Sensing the Nashi youth's position and the fact that he was fleeing, Luo Feng immediately knew something was wrong. Chase! The golden-horned beast flapped its wings and whistled through the air, instantly disappearing into the horizon. However, the black-armored youth's speed had already reached sublight speed, close to light speed. This was the maximum speed of the Yanji continent. However, due to the environment of the universe's secret region, he was unable to continue breaking through. The golden-horned beast's flying speed was similarly unable to exceed this limit. Plus, the black-armored youth was flying in a straight line. It was impossible to catch up. What do? I can't catch up at all. Unless I use my world projection, which reaches over 90 million kilometers, to limit his speed, I can't catch up. Luo Feng swiftly thought about it. According to the information he gained from the battle, he made a new decision. This Nashi youth can actually use time stop. It won't be easy for me to kill him. I'll trick him too. The golden-horned beast continued to chase the Nashi youth. One in front, one behind, flying at maximum speed above the Yanji continent. Luo Feng's large scanning device was also activated. Even though he could determine the opponent's position without the large scanning device, Luo Feng didn't want to reveal this. Under the large scanning device, the opponent relied on the small scanning device to prevent Luo Feng from detecting him. However, the opponent's detection range was at most 20 kilometers, and he was flying at sublight speed. At this speed, it would cause intense pressure and ripping in the air. Even space itself would have ripples. As it whistled past, it would leave clear traces in the air and space. Through the energy waves and space traces, one could naturally determine the opponent's exact position. He's still chasing. Just what grudge does the Silver Wing Emperor have with me to actually keep chasing me? Even though he knows he can't catch up, he still doesn't give up. The black-armored youth who maintained his maximum speed could tell, through the small scanning device, that the Silver Wing Emperor was scanning him. He immediately became even more furious. Chase, I'll see how long you can keep chasing. I'm on my maximum speed. You can at most match my speed. If you keep chasing like this, you'll never catch up. The black-armored youth gritted his teeth. Shio! They were like two meteors, a small one and a large one. One in front and one behind. They chased after each other along the same trajectory. This chase lasted for more than 6 hours. Ha 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 ha! The black-armored youth's originally ashen face suddenly revealed an ecstatic smile. Maintaining his rapid flight, he couldn't help but laugh out loud. I knew it. It's impossible for him to catch up to me. He won't keep chasing me like this. He'll definitely give up. He really gave up now. His mini-detector found that the detection of the large detector had disappeared. He had obviously stopped probing. When I was guarding the cave, it was understandable that he suddenly stopped probing. But right now, I'm flying at high speed. Who knows? I might change my direction. He actually turned off the tracking device. Naturally, you won't be able to catch up to me. The black-armored youth was in a good mood. After being chased for so long, how could he be relaxed? The black-armored youth first flew in a straight line for more than 3 hours, then changed direction for a day, changed direction again, and flew for another day. They flew for 9 days straight. Finally, he flew above a large lake. I've been flying for 9 days straight, so I've already changed my direction. Since he didn't rely on the tracking device, naturally, he won't be able to find my position. The black-armored youth stood above the vast lake, laughing coldly. Silver Wing Emperor? I won't forget your chase this time. This grudge. I'll definitely repay you in the future. So, he charged straight into the vast lake. This lake was completely blue, filled with cold energy, and was unfathomably deep. Half a day later, A black disk appeared above the lake. Within the control room, black-armored, black-winged Luo Feng sat on the sofa, holding a steaming hot cup of tea, leisurely drinking it. "You sure are careful." Luo Feng laughed lightly. "But how would you know? No matter how careful you are, I'll still be able to easily find you." That strong calling to Luo Feng's body was extremely strong. Every cell was madly calling out, locking onto the treasure's exact location. Killing him is really hard. I didn't expect a low-level emperor to be able to use time stop. Luo Feng muttered softly. Looks like he's from one of the more talented races within the Nashi race. Just like how there were many races within the human race, they all had different levels of talent. Within the demon race, there were the royal race and the royal race. The Nashi race was the same. Time stop. If only I had this move. Luo Feng exclaimed within. Teleportation and time stop. These were two very heaven-defying moves. Teleportation, a heaven-defying ultimate move of the space laws. Time stop, a heaven-defying ultimate move of the time laws. In comparison, time stop was even stronger. The moment one was hit by time stop, one would be defenseless for a moment. The enemy could choose to attack or escape. Of course, breaking time stop varied. Luo Feng didn't have his guard up at the start. He didn't expect a low-level emperor to be able to use time stop. If he was on guard and kept his energy vibrating, it would take him 1 second to break it. A peak emperor might be able to break it in 0.1 seconds. However, to an emperor, 0.1 seconds was enough for him to attack many times. Luckily, the Nashi youth thought I was a true undying emperor with an undying body. With that level of strength, he wouldn't even be able to hurt me. Hence, he chose to save time and escape. Luo Feng exclaimed within. However, it's right. Even if he attacked me, my golden horn beast had the protection of the general armor and the cloud contact armor. With these 2 layers of protection, even if he self-destructed, I wouldn't necessarily die. The cloud contact vine was huge in size, hence forming the cloud contact armor to protect the entire golden horn beast was naturally easy. Outside the black disk above the lake, a huge silver beast suddenly appeared, after which the black disk vanished. Who? The silver beast immediately rushed into the lake. After charging tens of thousands of kilometers, the golden horn beast finally stopped. The universe's secret region was filled with dangers. Just like this lake, the coldness was enough to freeze a domain lord to death. Of course, it posed no threat to the golden horn beast. Irina, Master, 1,000,000 Emperor army. Let's give our cute opponent another firework. Yes, Master. The golden horn beast gazed below. This was a huge and deep lake. The deepest part of the lake was over 1,000,000 km deep. Some areas were only 200,000 to 300,000 kilometers deep. The golden horn beast seemed to see through the rocks at the bottom of the lake and saw the black-armored youth hiding in the cave. After the last battle, the golden horn beast was very clear it couldn't kill the opponent through normal battles, especially since the youth could use time stop. Luo Feng didn't know the opponent's background before. Now that he knew, he had to destroy the opponent in one move. He didn't give the opponent any chance. Kill the foreign opponent within 30 seconds. Wong. Fierce tiger-armored bug clan emperors appeared around the golden horn beast. 1,000,000 tiger-armored bugs, almost like countless locusts. Beside the golden horn beast was the bug clan mother nest. The movements here were all shielded by the golden horn beast's large scanning device, as it maintained a 600,000 kilometers distance from the opponent, and the opponent's scanning device only had a 20 kilometers radius. Naturally, it couldn't detect anything here. Attack! Luo Feng ordered. The exact coordinates are... Luo Feng told Irina the coordinates. At the bottom of the lake, within a cave, there was an F9 grade universe ship. He had over 10 of these ships. Because he had 12 undyings, it was just that they all improved at different speeds. The strongest were the 2 that had followed him before. As for the other 10, 6 of them were marquee, for normal undying generals. Within the F9 grade universe ship, there was a cabin that was made from G grade metal. Just this small cabin that was 10 m wide and 5 m tall was more expensive than 10 F9 grade universe ships. Your Majesty, that Silver Wing Emperor can't even take care of himself. The entire Yin-Ji continent has a bounty on him. If he keeps flying in the air, he might very well be discovered by the automaton army. Hence, it's normal that he doesn't dare chase. And he can't do anything to you, so you don't have to worry. There were 3 slaves beside him. HM, the black-armored youth nodded. This G-grade cabin, against that terrifying attack from before, it should be of some use. The black-armored youth thought. No matter how strong the defense of the cabin was, it would be good enough to weaken 90% of the attack. Luo Feng had the Killer Wu wings. The materials and effects of the Killer Wu wings were much better than the G-grade cabin. It could only defend against 90% of the attack's force. Enemy attack. The black-armored youth's expression suddenly changed. Rumble. Following closely was an incredibly terrifying attack that instantly tore through the layers of rock and struck the universe ship. This caused the black-armored youth's eyes to be filled with shock and rage. I didn't even sense any scanning device. How could I be attacked? Don't tell me it's an enemy even more terrifying than Silver Wing Emperor? The large scanning device is even more advanced than my mini-scanning device. Rumble, the F9 grade universe ship was hit head-on. Like a paper box, it was immediately torn apart. The cabins within the ship were like soap bubbles popping one after another. The violent explosion struck the G-grade cabin. Pong! The G-grade cabin was like a soccer ball that was kicked away by a god. So, it was immediately blasted away like a shooting star, flying out. The surrounding million km had long been torn apart by the explosion. The front of the G-grade cabin had already caved in from the impact. In the center of the caved-in, there was even a crack. The cabin was tumbling about in the endless space layers. The black-armored youth within the cabin was in an even more tragic state. He had sensed the attack and immediately taken in 3 servants. However, the bug army's combined attack was too terrifying. In an instant, it destroyed the F9 grade universe ship. The explosion struck the G-grade cabin. Even though it didn't destroy the cabin, it only cracked. However, the violent force of the explosion caused the chairs and tables within the cabin to crumble into dust. The space within the cabin was shaken into particles. Even the Emperor-level black-armored youth, who was protected by the cabin, was instantly blasted apart. So, they once again reformed into one body. It actually destroyed 3% of my undying body. The black-armored youth couldn't help but be shocked and raged. If not for the G-grade cabin, he would probably have died earlier, after which he spread out his law domain. At this time, he was already within the space debris. Silver Wing Emperor. Through his law domain, he could clearly see that in the chaotic flow of spatial fragments outside, there was an enormous silver monster charging about, flying directly towards the cabin. Chapter 835. Cabin door open. The black-armored youth immediately opened the cabin door and flew out. Because he was clear, if he hid in the cabin, then he would be like a turtle in a jar. The opponent could use all sorts of methods to trap him in the cabin, and he wouldn't be able to escape in a short period of time. Silver Wing King failed last time, yet he still chased after me this time. Against such a peak Emperor warrior, if he didn't have any confidence, he wouldn't waste time. This means he should have confidence in dealing with me. The black-armored youth flew out of the cabin, keeping the cabin and immediately fleeing. This was the space layer. The endless space shards were flying everywhere. This was like a large meteor crashing into each other. How strong would the resistance be? Maybe an undying could continuously accelerate, but the time it took to do so was obviously much longer. Wah! Wah! Silver Wing King was like a fish in water. The murdering Wu wings were a treasure that could control space. It wasn't affected at all by the space shards. Leaving behind a few traces, he swiftly caught up to the black-armored youth who was barely accelerating. Stop! The black-armored youth was about to use it, but Silver Wing King had already dodged. Not good. The black-armored youth gritted his teeth. I knew you could use time stop. Why would I stop and give you a chance? The golden horned beast was like a ghost, constantly changing its position, surrounding and attacking the black armored youth. Time stop. This technique was used on a specific region of space. It was like shooting a rifle on Earth. Shooting a stationary target was easy, but the moment the target started moving, especially when it was moving very quickly and constantly changing direction, it was extremely hard to hit. One theory: the golden horned beast's body was too huge to use at once. The area it had to control was huge, and the golden horned beast's speed and direction changes gave the black armored youth a headache. Trap. The black armored youth pointed at the golden horned beast. Shio. A 10 kilometers long black whip danced in the space vortex, directly wrapping around the attacking golden horned beast. One of the wings of the golden horned beast was wrapped around by the black whip. Immediately, its speed and agility were affected. This caused the black armored youth to be overjoyed. Success. Rumble. Even though the golden horned beast's left wing was wrapped by the black whip, it still charged towards the black armored youth. Find him. The black armored youth gritted his teeth. That slender black whip glowed with a dark glow as it tightened. However, even though the golden horned beast's left wing was bound, it wasn't injured at all. This was the Wu slaying wings, a true treasure. Even a powerful pinnacle existence, like the Universe Lord, would find it hard to injure such a treasure. The black whip could at most slightly affect it. To completely bind it and cause it to lose its ability to resist, how is that possible? Boom. The golden horned beast was already closing in on the black armored youth. Freeze. The black armored youth once again used this technique. Stop my ass, explode. The golden horned beast rushed over. Luo Feng's consciousness was howling. In an instant, a fiery red, heart-palpitating pyramid-shaped crystal floated between the golden horned beast and the black armored youth, very close to each other. Fire God, Source Crystal. The black-armored young man revealed a shocked and angry expression, especially when he sensed the energy ripples of the Fire God Origin Crystal. He was even more frightened. It's over. I'm dead. A Fire God Origin Crystal comparable to a high-level Emperor-level explosion. This has this Silver Wing Emperor gone mad. This was a high-level Emperor-level explosion. Even if he was an Emperor Pinnacle warrior against a Fire God Origin Crystal comparable to a high-level Emperor-level explosion, he would probably lose a portion of his undying body. If that's the case, he might as well burn a part of his immortal body to kill me. Why waste an expensive Regis rank high-grade Fire God Origin Crystal? Thoughts flashed through the black-armored young man's mind as he faced death. Teacher, save me. The black-armored youth immediately shattered the token within his world ring. Even if you want me to die, I'll drag you down with me. The black-armored youth, at that moment, through the communication device, countless experts in the demon race's camp, who were on the same side as him on the blazing right continent, began to send messages. I'm about to die. The murderer is the Silver Wing King. The coordinates are. This message was instantly sent to countless experts in the demon race's camp. If the black-armored youth had said he was going to give a reward and let others inform the automaton warriors, then this message would have been intercepted by the AI system. Because contacting other camps, this was a huge crime of betrayal. For big camps, betrayal camps were like traitors to a race. It was an absolute crime of death. Even with the Universe Lord as a teacher, he couldn't be saved. Of course, if it was a peak existence like the Universe Lord, he could still be saved. But one had to know, many of the vassal races like the Golden Horn race didn't even have an unimaginable overlord like the Universe Lord. Disciple. In an extremely remote area of the universe territories, the territory where the vassal races lived. It's in the alien battleground. No. Similarly dressed in black armor, the rough-looking man couldn't help but shout, Disciple, you have to live. Although he had given his disciple an item, and he could teleport there through the God Nation, that was the alien battleground of the four big camps. Universe Lords were forbidden from entering, unless it was a huge battle. Otherwise, those that appeared in the alien battleground were all existences below the Universe Lord level. Of course, some super existences like the Primal Chaos City Lord could occasionally break the rules. Because of their high status, the vassal races didn't dare to say anything. But the human universe lords and foreign race lords also didn't have the right to enter the alien battleground. Rumble. Although it seemed like it took a long time, the explosion of the fire god origin crystal actually happened in an instant. The black armored youth's speed hadn't even reached 1,000 kilometers. In front of the Emperor-level explosion, within a 10,000 km radius, that was the strongest explosion. Rumble. The spatial shrapnel was instantly shattered into particles by the powerful energy explosion. The black armored youth and the golden horned beast were both doing the same thing at this moment, to defend against the explosion. Ooh, the golden horned beast closed its wings, wrapping itself up. No! The black armored youth immediately took out the G-grade metal cabin and placed it in front of him. At the same time, he controlled Yanhua. The support plant life, Yanhua knew that if its master died, it would die too. Hence, it tried its best to let out its last light. Explode, explode, explode. The surrounding 10,000 km radius was instantly turned into a particle flow. Even though there was the G-grade metal cabin blocking in front of them, the explosion was completely dispersed. At most, the power was reduced by half. Almost instantly, the black armored youth and the Yanhua protecting him were blasted into nothingness. They were completely annihilated. Only the G-grade metal cabin, weapons, and the G-grade metal world ring were left floating in the endless particle flow. The golden horned beast, too, closed its wings to protect itself. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Against the terrifying impact, after going through the Wu Slayer wings and armor, it was reduced to 1,000th of its original power. Even this 1,000th was comparable to a normal Emperor-level warrior's attack. It also shattered the Cloud Contact armor on the Golden Horned Beast scales. Luckily, the Cloud Contact Vine was an official level warrior, and its body was comparable to a low-level Emperor-level human's undying body. Even though it was shattered because of its undying body, it didn't lose much. The Golden Horned Beast felt its body tremble. It felt stuffy. Of course, it only felt stuffy, that was all. Haha, an Emperor-level explosion. It can even harm an Emperor-level pinnacle warrior. I have the Wu Slayer wings and armor. These two treasures protecting me, along with the Cloud Contact, Vine's undying body. Even against an Emperor-level pinnacle warrior's explosion, I should be able to survive. Luo Feng was in an extremely good mood amidst the explosion. The aftershocks of the explosion were swiftly weakening. The golden horned beast's dark golden eyes gazed into the distance. In the distance, the G-grade cabin, black whip, world rings, and other items were all floating. Actually, the world rings Luo Feng and the other warriors were all made from G-grade metals. Luckily, it was just a ring. It used very little metal, hence it was very cheap. Even the powerful Undyings could afford it. When the powerful Undyings fought, how huge would the shockwaves be? If they used normal F9 grade metals to create the world rings, it would be easily damaged during the battle. Within one of the world rings, the official and normal Undyings who were originally filled with nervousness, the black-armored youth's undying servants, the moment their master fell, they all revealed looks of fear and unwillingness. No, no. These undying servants only had time to cry out in anger. Plop, plop, plop. One by one, they fell, no longer breathing. Even though their bodies were still there, their souls had completely dissipated. Just like back then, when Huyen Bo died, his servants too died. The master died. The servants died. No matter how powerful the servants were, they couldn't change this fact. Amidst the space debris flow, the explosion only had some lingering sounds left. The golden horned beast relied on the Wu killer wings, the general armor, and the Cloud Contact armor to protect itself. It was unharmed, of which the Wu killer wings and the general armor were incomparably sturdy and could weaken over 90% of the attack power. And the Cloud Contact armor, of course, couldn't weaken over 90% of the attack power, but it could try its best to block until it collapsed. After the Wu killer wings and the general armor, The remaining attack power, when it destroyed an Emperor-level early-level undying body like the Cloud Contact Armor, was used up. The most valuable part was the Wu Killer Wings and the General Armor. However, these were both extremely valuable items. The Wu Killer Wings, its value didn't need much to be said. That was a treasure even the Universe Knights would go crazy for. The General Armor, it blocked attacks. It was even better at blocking soul attacks. The human race didn't have such a treasure. They didn't even know of its existence. They wouldn't even use it. Luo Feng also trained in the Nameless Manual. Hence, he was lucky enough to use such a treasure. Haha. Losing an 800 million points Fire God Origin Crystal to be able to kill you and get the treasure that made my body go crazy, it's too worth it. The golden-horned beast too howled as it flew over, its dark golden eyes looking at the G-grade cabin, the black whip, the 2 world rings, the remains of the armor, etc., especially feeling the intense calling from one of the world rings to every cell in its body. It was thousands of times stronger than the general armor. Its cold eyes, too, revealed excitement. It paid so much. It was worth it. Tomato, rolling on the ground, begging for everything. Chapter 836. On the edge of the Yinji continent, there was a towering golden palace in a desolate desert. It stood conspicuously in the middle of the desert. The strong of the foreign races usually hid in mountain caves, underground caves, underwater caves, and other secret places. The ones who dared to live in such an eye-catching palace were definitely the top cultivators on the Yinji continent. And the current owner of this palace was King Jiujian. He was a peak-titled king-level fighter with the ability to teleport. On the Yinji continent, he feared no one. Whoosh! In the sky above the Golden Palace, a humanoid black flame that was about 3 meters tall appeared out of nowhere. This black flame solidified into a black-robed fighter. His entire body was shrouded in a black robe. King Jiujian. The powerful fighter in the palace, King Jiujian, immediately noticed the arrival of the enemy. He immediately sent a voice transmission. "You're from the demon camp. What are you doing here? Do you want to fight?" Both of them were among the strongest fighters on the Yinji continent. They both had the ability to teleport. Even if they fought, it would be a waste of time. King Jiujian, Svika. The black-robed fighter sent a voice transmission. "I know Silver Wing King's current coordinates. If you want them, exchange them for treasures worth 200 million units of Yuan. Remember, these coordinates are his current coordinates. You have to hurry. If you're too slow, Silver Wing King will escape." Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 figures appeared outside the palace. It was King Jiujian, who was short and skinny. He had a pair of beast claws and wore a silver mask. The other was the machine fighter, Svika. Svika had been staying with King Jiujian ever since he put up the bounty, because once he got the exact coordinates, he could quickly reach any place on the Yinji continent with King Jiujian. You say you know where Silver Wing King is? It's just a coordinate, and you want 200 million units of Yuan? Svika sent a voice transmission. "It's a treasure worth 200 million units of Yuan. I can't use your machine currency," King Jiujian said. The Black Wiz King sent a voice transmission. "You can continue wasting time. The more time you waste, the further that Silver Wing King will run. It will be difficult for you to find him again. 12 seconds have passed." Bastard. Svika gritted his teeth. Even a peak-stage, king-conferred martial artist would not earn so much money at such a ridiculous rate. Typically, if one did not work hard for more than 10,000 years, they might not even be able to earn so much money. Yet, a piece of information was being sold at such a high price. "I'll buy it." Svika turned his hand, and a space ring appeared in his palm. He immediately threw the space ring in his hand. The Black Curly King took the interspatial ring and quickly checked it. "That's enough. These are the coordinates." Black Curly King immediately gave the coordinates to Svika and King Jiujian. "You're coming with us," said Svika. "Don't worry. This news was sent by another early-stage king-ranked expert. Furthermore, it should have been sent before he died. There is no mistake. Since I've received a treasure worth 200 million Yuan units, of course I'll go with you. Let's go." The Black Wiz King was calm and confident. He was not afraid of anyone on the Yinji continent. Whoosh! Suika, Nine Sturdy Emperor and Black Mist Emperor. Immediately, Nine Sturdy Emperor used teleportation and teleported to the bottom of the lake where Luo Feng and the Black Armored Youth were battling. Within the space layer, after the Golden Horned Beast used a Fire God crystal worth 800 million points to kill the Black Armored Youth, it didn't bother to carefully study the treasures. It immediately grabbed the G-grade cabin, the 2 world rings, the Black Whip, and the other spoils of war, and swiftly stored them into its own world ring. Things might change if I delay. Before this Black Armored Youth died, he might have invited someone to deal with me. I'd better hurry and leave. After I leave this place, I'll slowly study the treasures. Whoosh! The Golden Horned Beast swiftly broke through the space barrier and returned to the original universe space. It appeared at the bottom of the lake and immediately switched back to its human body. The Wu Killer wings also merged with the human body. The reason for this was because the Golden Horned Beast was simply too huge. Its body was over 100 kilometers long, plus its tail and even larger wings. The microdetector only had a 20 kilometers radius. It couldn't completely hide the Golden Horned Beast. Rumble. The Earthling spread his wings and flew up in an instant. He broke through the rock layer and rushed out of the cold and deep lake. In just a few seconds, he had rushed out of the lake. Whoosh! It swiftly fled into the distance. The commotion from the battle before was too huge. The bug army's combined attack would probably attract the warriors over. I have to hurry and leave this place. Luo Feng's wings flapped, and he unleashed 3 universe vibrations. His speed rose rapidly, even though it was rushed. However, Luo Feng was filled with joy within. To get the treasures from this foreign warrior, he had planned for a long time. The first time he noticed the treasures, he wanted to fight. However, he suppressed it and forced his way back to the base to raise his strength before returning. After much hard work, he finally succeeded in killing this opponent and getting the treasures he wanted. Within the cave at the bottom of the lake. Who? Suika, Nine Tough Emperor, and Black Wisp Emperor. These 3 warriors from different races appeared at the same time. What a strong energy reaction. Nine Tough Emperor communicated. Very strong. Black Wisp Emperor's expression changed too. Silver Wing Emperor could very well be here, conducting a scan. Suika didn't care much. He immediately released the large and micro detectors and immediately spread them out in all directions. Not good. Luo Feng, who was flying, swiftly activated both the large and micro detectors at the same time. The large detectors were used to detect the enemy. The micro detectors were used to protect himself and alert against stronger enemies. The moment Black Wisp Emperor, Nine Tough Emperor, and Suika appeared in the cave, Luo Feng's large detectors immediately detected the enemy. It's them. Luo Feng was shocked. Suika, Luo Feng didn't recognize him. Even though they fought before, he had never seen his real body. But Black Wisp Emperor and Nine Tough Emperor, Luo Feng was able to recognize them immediately. Because back in the base, Luo Feng had communicated with a few Emperor-level Undyings. At the same time, he had specially investigated some of the foreign races on Yinji continent that shouldn't be messed with. He already had a list of them. Black Wisp Emperor and Nine Tough Emperor were on the list. Hence, Luo Feng immediately recognized them. He actually teleported here immediately. That automaton race looks like it's very likely the one who placed a bounty on me. He's also the extremely rich one. Luo Feng recognized Suika and laughed within. I still have to thank you. If it wasn't for you providing me with so many resources, Mo Yun probably wouldn't have been able to become an Undying in such a short period of time. I wouldn't have been able to kill that Nashi race warrior in such a short period of time either. Stop! Luo Feng, who was originally flying at high speed, suddenly slowed down. He then flew at a very slow speed, relying on the miniature detector to protect himself. Furthermore, the moment the detector detected the enemy, it immediately shut down the large detector. He didn't dare to fly too fast, because flying too fast would create space ripples and air waves, which would make it very easy for the enemy to detect him. Suika, Nine Tough Emperor, and Black Wisp Emperor all activated their detectors. Nothing? The three powerful warriors were a bit shocked. Black Wisp Emperor. Suika looked at him. I trusted you and gave you the treasure a long time ago. However, I haven't found that Silver Wing Emperor at all. Did you give me the coordinates too late? Or did you lie to me on purpose? From the time I got the coordinates until now, it hasn't even been 30 seconds. Black Wisp Emperor communicated. 30 seconds, he definitely can't have escaped more than 9 million kilometers, and our large detectors have a minimum range of 300 million kilometers. No matter what, he can't escape our detection range. Now that we can't find him, it means that his miniature detector is very high-end. High-end? Suika said unhappily. I've fought him before. His detector is very average. Your battle with him was a long time ago. Wouldn't he have bought a better detector? The Black Curly King said unhappily. Everyone stop arguing. Nine Tough Emperor communicated. I'll go to the space layer to see if he's hiding there. Also, Black Wisp Emperor, help me sense the space. Make sure there aren't any special changes in the space ripples. If there are, it could very well be that Silver Wing Emperor. Okay, Black Wisp Emperor nodded. I've accepted the treasure. I'm willing to help out a little. Sila. Nine Tough Emperor immediately used his claw to cut open the space crack and entered the space layer to investigate. After a few seconds, he came out. How is it? Suika looked at him. The countless space fragments in the space layer didn't have any special movements. Nine Tough Emperor said, I think that Silver Wing Emperor will return to the original universe space after the battle. The chances of him staying in the space layer aren't high. Let's first check the surrounding space. Okay, Suika nodded. There were many ways to check the space. Simple like using Undying God power to check. This type of checking was very crude. The better ones were like detectors, but it depended on how advanced the detectors were. The weaker ones were about the same as normal Undying's Undying power detection. The better ones could even surpass the God power detection of Emperor-level experts. Higher level would be law domains and world projection. Law domains and world projection were methods that belonged to the laws of the universe. This wasn't something that could be created just by studying the laws. Within the law domain, the god spirits were the masters. Within the world projection, the sector lords were the masters. They could clearly control their own area. Of course, spatial techniques like the Thunder Hell and the 9 Ultimate Divine Kingdom could also be used to filter the space around them. I'll set up 6 hell worlds within a 100 million kilometers radius. Suika said solemnly. As long as he's within 100 million kilometers, I'll be able to find him. Shua. The 3 warriors simultaneously appeared in the air above the lake. Nine Tough Emperor then led Suika and swiftly teleported to 6 different locations, leaving behind a base ship in each of the 6 locations. One had to know that the 9 Extreme God Kingdom was very mysterious. It was created by the Universe Knight Automaton Grandmasters with great effort. There were many ways to use it. Even though one was lost and the strongest 9 Extreme God Kingdom couldn't be set up, the other 8 ships still had many ways to use them. Even a single pedestal spaceship could set up a control area of a higher level than the Thunder Hell. With 6 ships, one could set up 6 hell worlds. 1. Countless blurry lights enveloped over a 100 million kilometers area. It spread through the surrounding mountain ranges and permeated tens of millions of km into the endless land, enveloping the vast lake. Everything was under control, and Luo Feng, who flew slowly and didn't dare cause any ripples in space, was naturally enveloped within the 6 hell worlds. Woo, I'm late again. Tomato has a long trip tomorrow. Tomorrow's chapter will have to be updated at night. Please forgive me. Chapter 837. In the sky above the boundless land, the 6 pyramid-shaped spaceships were hovering in the distance. With the 6 pyramid-shaped spaceships as the center, countless rays of light shot out from them. The rays of light connected with each other and instantly formed a misty space that looked like a cage, the 6-directional prison realm. Over 100 million area, completely isolated from the outside world. In the hexagon purgatory realm, Even a weapon or an extremely weak creature can't escape my detection. Svika stood in the air above the lake. The lake, mountains, etc., all became a part of this white mist space cage. So powerful, Black Silk King exclaimed. This is made by a Universe Knight level automaton master. Nine Tough King smiled. Any automaton was considered a master in the field of mechanics. Any one of them could easily create a huge automaton empire. Of course, as their strength grew, their comprehension grew, the machines they created became more and more terrifying. A weapon created by a machine race master at the universe venerable level was definitely rare and expensive. That Silver Wing King won't be able to escape, Svika said coldly. Search for me. Svika gritted his teeth. Search every inch of the place. Any signs of life, any traces of energy, find them all. Wong, Wong, Wong. The white mist within six-directional hell world suddenly shot out white threads visible to the naked eye. The countless threads were densely packed, covering over 100 million km area within six-directional hell world, and began to search intensely. Such a search, just one wave of search, the area it covered. The search was extremely detailed. The amount of energy used was astronomical, enough to make normal undyings go bankrupt. One suspicious object, two suspicious objects. The six spaceships quickly reported. After 39 seconds, the search was complete. 82 suspicious objects were found. Lock onto the suspicious objects. Coordinates confirmed. Svika ordered. 9 Tough King, to save time, follow me to look at the suspicious objects. Svika looked at 9 Tough King beside him and communicated. 9 Tough King nodded. After all, six-directional hell worlds spanned over 100 million km. The 82 suspicious objects were scattered all over. If they relied on flying, it would probably take an hour, and they couldn't afford to waste time. The more time they wasted, the easier it was for something to happen. These are the 82 coordinates. Svika swiftly passed it to 9 Tough King. Leave it to me. Whoosh! King 9 Toughness grabbed Svika with his sharp claws and instantly arrived at the first coordinate. Svika looked at the alloy wreckage that was entangled by the white threads. He used his undying power to probe it and frowned. It's just a spaceship wreckage. Then, let's see the next one. King 9 Sturdy teleported again with Svika. Suspicious items were discovered one after another. Of these 82 items, 62 were ship wreckage, 9 were weapon shards, 10 were undying corpses, and even a world ring. Anyways, these items with even a hint of energy were all discovered. When he found the world ring, Svika was overjoyed and shouted, Silver Wing King, do you think I can't find you hiding in the world ring? Svika immediately destroyed the world ring. The normal items were destroyed in the collapse of the world. Only a few stronger items survived. Of all the items that survived, Svika couldn't find anything that could possibly be where Silver Wing King was hiding. This is a world ring. According to my detector, the surrounding rocks and soil, the final judgment is that this world ring has been here for over 100 million years. It's a world ring that was accidentally dropped during the war outside, yet it wasn't discovered by the victors. King 9 Toughness said, Silver Wing King won't be inside. Then where is he? Svika gritted his teeth. Black Curly King. Svika looked at him. Black Curly King, who was shrouded in a black robe, said coldly, Don't doubt a titled Emperor Pinnacle Warrior. I won't go so far as to throw away my pride for your 200 million Yuan treasure. Those warriors had eternal life. At their level, their lifespan was endless. Hence, they pursued the limits and valued their pride even more. Maybe they would kill wantonly, maybe they didn't care about their reputation, but there were some things like lying and cheating that was a very shameful thing. If it was for a certain cardinal treasure, they would be willing to go to any lengths. Just 200 million yuan, to a peak stage, king-conferred martial artist, they wouldn't stoop so low. Then where is he? Svika stood in the air above the lake and looked in all directions. There are 3 possibilities. King 9 Toughness sent a voice transmission to each other. 1. he is in the void and has not returned to the original universe. Instead, he has gone deep into the void. Logically speaking, the probability of him not returning to the original universe, but going deep into the void after the battle, is very low. The probability is less than 1%. 2. He is in the Six Directions Hell Realm, but we can't find him. Even with the Six Directions Hell Realm's careful investigation, we can't find him. We can only say that his concealment technique is very good. The probability is about 20%. 3. He has escaped from the Six Directions Hell Realm. The probability is the highest. How did he escape? Svika looked at him. There are many ways, King 9 Toughness said. King Jujian said, the Silver Wing King is famous for his instantaneous acceleration and dodging. With his achievements in space, he might have comprehended the teleportation technique in the near future. After killing his target, he teleported away. Instant shift? How did he learn instant shift in less than a year? Svika shook his head. It can't be that fast. It's hard to say. King 9 Toughness said, another reason is that his enemy had told a large number of demon camp members about him before he died. Perhaps this information was leaked to the human camp. He must have friends in the human camp. The last time we were about to attack, wasn't he taken away by his ally using instant shift? It's possible this time as well. It's just that his speed is faster than ours. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Svika gritted his teeth. Although he felt that what King 9 Toughness said made sense, he wasn't willing to admit it. He didn't want to believe that Silver Wing King had escaped again. Six Directions Hell Realm. Send out the maximum amount of energy. Svika immediately ordered. The range is the entire Six Directions Hell Realm. Destroy it. Destroy everything in the Six Directions Hell Realm. The lakes, rocks, mountains, and everything else. Turn them all into nothingness. Svika's eyes were filled with madness. Turn everything within 100 million kilometers into nothingness. If it doesn't turn into nothingness, then it must be someone suspicious. Rumble, rumble. The Six Directions Hell Realm began to send out the maximum amount of energy. Immediately, crazy explosions began to spread throughout the 100 million kilometer range. One had to know that even the strongest attack of the Emperor Zerg army could only cover a 10 million kilometer range. This 100 million kilometer range was 1,000 times larger. Hence, it was destined that the power of every inch of the range would be far weaker than the Zerg army's attack. At most, it could destroy E2 or E3 grade metals. No matter how strong the energy was, once it was spread over a 100 million kilometer range, its power would be weaker on average, although the power was weak. However, the rocks in the lakes, other than a few that were extremely hard, most of them couldn't withstand such an attack. The endless Rocky Mountain range was instantly turned into nothingness by the energy explosion. The lake water was also completely destroyed, and the thick ground was also continuously disappearing. 99.9% of the matter was completely destroyed and turned into nothingness. A very, very small amount of matter had shattered. There were also some hard matter that was completely undamaged. Actually, just like the broken star belt that Luo Feng was in back then, every single broken star could withstand an attack from Sector Lord Pinnacle Warrior. Although the Sacrifice Yin continent was much bigger, normal matter wasn't that hard. Damn. He actually used this move. The amount of energy used is at least comparable to an Emperor-level explosion. An ordinary-looking piece of rock in the Rocky Mountain range was blasted apart by the attack. Judging from the aura and the material, it was just a rock that was as hard as other rocks. In truth, it was a stone transformed by the Masha clansmen. Its aura was copied using its natural ability, completely replicating a normal rock. Hence, unless a warrior used his undying god's energy to penetrate into the rock and check its insides, otherwise, it would be impossible to see through the rock's true appearance from the outside or the equipment. Over 100 million kilometer. So much energy. Although a fire god origin crystal is the most expensive energy compression technique in the undying god power, that device relies on energy crystals. I reckon that the output of so much energy is equivalent to tens of millions of mixed elements. Looks like that fellow from Machine Race is really mad. Attack. Attack any matter that hasn't been destroyed. Swaika gritted his teeth. He wanted to destroy everything within 100 million-kilometer range. Only by destroying everything would he be satisfied. Only then would he truly believe that Silver Wing Emperor had escaped. While Luo Feng was in a predicament, in a certain place in the virtual universe, within a vast hall, there were a total of 108 ancient thrones in the hall, and on each of the thrones sat an expert. They were either human experts or experts of other races, and all of them exuded a powerful aura. The reason I've gathered everyone is because according to the information from the alien battlefield army system, Human Sector Lord Luo Feng has successfully killed an Emperor-level low-level Undying. On one of the thrones, a tall human clad in purple armor and a peculiar cross-shaped helmet said solemnly, "Impossible. He has no way of killing an Emperor-level low-level. I request to watch the army system's footage." Immediately, the other beings denied it. Everyone, just relying on Luo Feng himself, a Sector Lord naturally has no way of killing an Emperor-level low-level Undying. However, the military merits are all on him. This means he used some special method to kill an Emperor level. According to the internal management rules of our Hong Alliance, since he has achieved this, no matter what treasures or methods he uses, as long as he can kill a low-level regal, then we can take him in, the tall, purple-armored being said in a low voice. Chapter 838. The purple-armored being's gaze swept across the other humans and alien race absolute warriors, saying solemnly, "Everything will be done according to the rules. Since it's in accordance with the rules, we should absorb Luo Feng." Seconded. Seconded. Immediately a few of the powerful beings hesitated before agreeing. The official members of the Great Alliance will definitely be the true warriors of the various races. If he can rely on some treasures or special methods to kill an Emperor-level beginner, that will prove his strength. However, what I'm worried about is that it could very well be his protector who killed the beginner. And that protector didn't register with the army system. The army system will automatically recognize him as Luo Feng's follower. Naturally, the merit will go to Luo Feng. A life form with many jade-green tentacle braids said with a sharp voice, "Hence, I've requested to view the footage of that battle. Viewing the battle footage will prove everything. Yizheng Knight, please view the footage." Many powerful beings looked at the purple-armored tall man. All of Luo Feng's battle footage's viewing rights far surpass ours. The purple-armored tall man said solemnly, "We don't even have the right to view it." How can that be? I'll personally request from the army system. My rights really aren't enough. Request failed. He's not even a knight. How can he have such a high viewing rights? Within the originally relatively calm hall, the over 100 absolute warriors from the various races immediately broke out in an uproar. Obviously, the battle footage's viewing rights were so high that they couldn't comprehend or even imagine it. The purple-armored tall man said solemnly, "This is the right set by the Primal Chaos City leader himself." Silence reigned. The other 100 powerful beings in the hall all kept quiet, glancing at each other, their eyes filled with understanding and helplessness. The Great Alliance was an alliance formed mainly by humans and large amounts of other races. Humans were the main ones, and humans were definitely the top three. In the vast universe, they were the absolute overlords. The Primal Chaos City Master's position in the Great Alliance was obvious. The authority he had set. The universe paragons from the various races were speechless. The Primal Chaos City leader had raised the viewing rights. As long as he was willing, there were probably no more than 3 people in the entire Great Alliance who could view the footage. Absorbing Luo Feng into the Great Alliance. Any objections? The purple-armored tall man looked at the many representatives. No objections. No objections. Seconded. Seconded. Many existences quickly nodded and no longer made any request to watch the video. Since they've all passed, I'll immediately arrange for a representative team to invite Luo Feng to officially join our Great Alliance. The purple-armored man nodded slightly before disappearing into thin air. The other powerful existences on the thrones also disappeared. In an instant, only the 108 ancient thrones remained in the hall. In the extraterrestrial battlefield, on the sacrificing flame continent. Attack, destroy all undamaged matter, and turn it into nothingness. Svika stood in the void, gnashing his teeth. In an instant, the entire six-directional prison world started to condense white pillars of light. They were like lasers. Each of them had 10 times the attack power of a peak world overlord. Over 100 pillars of light started to attack everything that wasn't destroyed. Puff, puff, puff. Pieces of rock and metal that were originally hard were turned into nothingness after being bombarded by the white light beam. Very few of them were turned into fragments, and only a handful of metals and rocks remained unharmed under the attack. Puff! A white pillar of light hit the Masha clansman's rock. After all, it had 10 times the attack power of a peak world overlord, and the Masha clansman was only a sector lord pinnacle. After transforming into a rock, the so-called origin law comprehension was of no use at all. The rock split into 7 pieces, and the rest crumbled into dust. We're about to be discovered. Continue to attack. Everything will be turned into nothingness. Svika clearly knew the details of the six-directional prison world through the 6 spaceships. Emperor Jian. Svika communicated to Emperor Jian beside him. Emperor Jian looked at him. His eyes beneath the mask were cold. Can I trouble you to receive the Death Spirit Emperor? Svika said. When I received the information about the Black Mist Emperor, I immediately invited the Death Spirit Emperor over. He has already teleported through the God Country and arrived in the void outside of Yinji continent. These are the detailed coordinates. Emperor Jian disappeared into thin air. Svika, on the other hand, felt a little heartache, resentment, and unwillingness. I originally thought that the Black Mist King was a peak-conferred king expert, and the information he brought would not be fake. I was afraid that there would be an accident, so I immediately invited the Death Spirit King as soon as possible. Now that the Death Spirit King's holy kingdom has teleported here from the Star Tower, if I make a wasted trip, I have to give some benefits. Asking a peak emperor to teleport over from the God Country and make a wasted trip? How is that possible? Of course, he had to give him some gifts to appease his dissatisfaction. In just a few seconds, Shwa, 2 figures appeared out of thin air. One was the short-masked, 9-sturdy king, and the other was the Thousand-Eyed Heart Clan's powerhouse, the Death Spirit King, whose scales were filled with eyes. The moment the Death Spirit King arrived, the formless pressure made Svika a little uncomfortable. Even the Black Curly King, who was shrouded in a black robe, was shocked. They were all peak emperor, but the difference in strength was huge. For example, the Death Spirit Emperor was extremely strong in the soul aspect. Many undying emperors died in his hands, so naturally his status was higher. Where's the Silver Wing King? The Death Spirit Emperor asked. This. Svika felt awkward. Spatial ripple. Spatial ripple. Emperor Jian and Black Mist Emperor both felt the spatial ripple at the same time. This familiar ripple. To Emperor Jian and Black Mist Emperor, who could teleport, they instantly knew that an expert was teleporting. An expert is teleporting. Black Mist Emperor said coldly, I'll seal the space. Wang, the Black Feather King, who had been watching from the sidelines and constantly emitting his immortal divine power, was also a little ashamed that he had obtained a treasure worth 200 million units of Yulan units because Svika couldn't find the Silver Wing King. It was impossible for him to return it to Svika, so he did something to compensate. His already spread out undying god power suddenly vibrated. Like countless threads of undying god power forming a spider web, it locked down the 30 million kilometer area where the spatial ripple was created. Silver Wing King is there. Svika could easily see through the detector, and the 6-directional Hell Realm had also locked onto the 2 targets. Svika was extremely excited. The one beside him is the teleporting, undying Illusion Star King who saved him last time. It's the human faction's Star Illusion King. Chase, Emperor Jian, and Death Spirit King were filled with killing intent. Svika also got excited. Svika used six-directional Hell World to stop them. Now that the space is sealed, they can't teleport. They can only fly. With six-directional Hell World blocking them, they can't fly fast. It's only a few million kilometers. We can easily catch up. Emperor Jian was very excited. He was already waiting for the reward from Svika after the battle. Understood. Svika was also very excited. Black Mist Emperor stood at the side, only using the space seal to help out a bit. He messaged, Svika, I'll help you out. We don't owe each other anything. Haha, Black Mist Emperor, thanks. Svika was very grateful to Black Mist Emperor. Previously, King Black Feather and King Nine Sturdiness had used their immortal power to investigate. However, King Nine Sturdiness had suddenly been asked to pick up the Death Spirit King. If King Nine Sturdiness wanted to continue using his immortal power to investigate, just spreading out his immortal power would take a long time. Because the fastest undying god power could spread out was light speed. Black Mist Emperor was just watching the show. Maintaining his scouting mode was the fastest way to seal the space. Silver Wing King, we're in big trouble now. Star King laughed softly, her voice resounding in the mind of the golden horned beast. The moment she teleported, the space was completely sealed. She couldn't teleport anymore. Haha, it's fine. We can't teleport away, but they can't teleport to chase us either. The golden horned beast communicated with Star King in its mind. You're on my claws. They can't catch up. Legend has it that Silver Wing King's flying speed is shocking. It's all up to you now. Star King smiled. Her wings trembled slightly and landed on one of the scales of the golden horned beast's claws. Her undying god power bound her and the golden horned beast's claws together. Go! The golden horned beast flapped its wings and used the space traversing technique. It left a twisting trail in mid-air, its speed rapidly increasing to a shocking level. Wong wong, an endless amount of white light surrounded the golden horned beast. Even though it wasn't like the 9 extreme god countries' purple light that could bind the golden horned beast and cause it to be unable to escape, the white light had about a 10,000th of the purple light's power. Even though it couldn't bind it, it still caused the golden horned beast's speed to decrease. Not good. The golden horned beast's flying speed decreased. Behind it, Death Spirit King, Nine Tough King, Swika, as well as Black Mist Emperor, who was watching the show, were swiftly closing in. Haha, Silver Wing King, you can't escape. The golden horned beast looked behind it as it flew. With a glance, it saw the 4 little dots tens of thousands of kilometers away. In a short period of time, it had actually been chased to tens of thousands of kilometers. Wah! The golden horned beast fiercely flapped its wings, and a huge space crack appeared. It immediately flew into the space layer. However, the range of Black Mist Emperor's undying god power was completely locked down. Death Spirit King, Nine Tough King, Swika, and Black Mist Emperor, who were chasing, seemed to simultaneously enter the space layer. The 6 pyramid ships also easily tore through space and entered. Within the space layer, the 6 pyramid ships were as stable as boulders. They weren't affected by the space turbulence at all. They still maintained the 6-direction prison world. Black Mist Emperor also maintained the space lockdown. However, the space shards were obviously causing Death Spirit King, Nine Tough King, Swika, and Black Mist Emperor to fly much slower. There were countless space shards that couldn't be removed. Flying was naturally filled with resistance. Woo! The golden horned beast, however, happily cried out. It flapped its wings. Who? The golden horned beast was like a ghost. It swiftly flew through the space turbulence. Its speed continued to rise. The space turbulence actually can't affect it. Impossible. Black Mist Emperor, who had always been calm, was shocked. Nine Tough King and Death Spirit King were equally shocked. What they didn't know was that Wu Slayer's wings could convert space energy. Once it was able to use its second form, it could even actively trigger the space turbulence. Right now, it was only the first form. Even though it couldn't trigger the space turbulence, flying within the space turbulence, wasn't affected at all. It was like a fish in water. The silver wings flapped. The golden horn beast's speed was shockingly fast. Even though the six-direction prison world continued to affect the golden horn beast, the space turbulence was also affecting Suika and the rest. And it was even more so for Suika and the rest. It seemed like that huge silver beast was getting further and further into the space turbulence, until it completely exceeded the limits of Black Mist Emperor's space lockdown, following which it teleported and disappeared. Bastard! Suika roared unwillingly. Death Spirit King and Nine Tough King also stopped. They were silent for a while. Black Mist Emperor, who was purely watching the show, couldn't help but exclaim, "Amazing." 2 chapters completed. It's the middle of the month, asking for votes. Brothers and sisters of the Red Alliance, please cast your votes. Chapter 839. King 9 Toughness and Death Spirit King looked at Suika. Suika, Death Spirit King said solemnly, "Although I am not willing to admit it, I have to say, with Silver Wing King's strength and his human allies, we have no way of killing him." "Yes." King 9 Toughness nodded. "Damn it." Suika gritted his teeth. He was unwilling. If his 9 Absolutes Divine Kingdom was in perfect condition, he would be able to trap Silver Wing King with just the 9 Absolutes Divine Kingdom, preventing him from escaping. Moreover, 9 Ultimate God Nation contained a forbidden attack mode. Back when Suika was fighting the Golden Horn Beast, he had hesitated to use it, because the price of a forbidden attack was too high. One forbidden attack cost 1 billion units of Yuan. Of course he hesitated. How much would it cost to hire a peak stage, king-conferred martial artist to help? This hesitation, it was too late. Afterwards, the Golden Horned Beast relied on the Zerg army to unleash its strongest combined attack when the entire 9 Extremes God Kingdom was accumulating energy. They actually managed to destroy a base ship. This caused Suika to jump up in anger. Death Spirit King, King 9 Toughness. Suika looked at the two and comforted them. "This is my mistake. Since we can't do anything to Silver Wing King, we will give up for now. As for the two of you, you have spent a lot of effort on this." Death Spirit King even rushed back from Star Tower. "I will make it up to the two of you." King 9 Toughness and Death Spirit King's eyes softened. The two of them had been busy for a long time. Seeing that there was no hope of dealing with Silver Wing King, they did not ask for a high price like they had initially. At the very least, they would get some compensation. Automaton, Virtual World. After comforting Death Spirit King and King 9 Toughness, Suika came to his residence. He sat on an alloy chair and looked at the information on the screen. The plan has a 99% chance of killing Silver Wing King. Suika's face revealed a pained expression, but this will use up almost all my cash. Is it worth it? I can lower my head and ask Master to refine the 9th pedestal ship for me. Even if I refine it, it will only be a few billion Yuan units. This plan will use up almost all my cash. Suika was struggling in his heart. In order to appease King 9 Hardness and the Death Spirit Lord, he had only given each of them 200 million units of Yuan as an apology gift. He had not accomplished anything at all, so this small amount of gift was already quite generous. This meant that Suika hadn't spent too much to chase after Luo Feng, only a few 100 million units of Yuan. However, this proposal was ridiculously expensive. Whatever. Anyway, after I buy it, if I don't use it in the future, I can sell it again. Even if I don't deal with Silver Wing King, I still have a trump card in my hand. Suika gnashed his teeth. "I'll buy it." Immediately, Suika began to place orders. The machinery race was more inclined to rely on various kinds of mechanical weapons to fight. Therefore, as long as one was wealthy enough, they could purchase powerful weapons and, of course, deal with experts. In fact, if one had a huge amount of wealth to purchase an SSS Divine Spirit base, even a Supremacy would not be able to do anything to it. One attack, and even a peak stage King-conferred would die without a doubt. This was the charm of mechanical weapons. At the same time, it was incomparably extravagant. In the endless ice field of the sacrificing flame continent, The Silver Wing King and the Star Illusion King appeared out of thin air at the bottom of the endless ice field. Star Illusion King, thank you for your help. The Silver Wing King let out a low, rumbling voice. I didn't do much. I just teleported. The Star Illusion King's voice was gentle. Her misty wings gently flapped. Her alluring figure was faintly discernible. She laughed softly. To be able to personally witness the Silver Wing King's flying technique in the space shards, it can be considered a bonus. Right, Silver Wing King? Looking at your flying technique, with your level of attainment in this area, you should have comprehended teleportation. The Star Illusion King asked. I comprehended the part of teleportation and the part of space strangulation. Combining the two, I formed a special flying technique. My energy has all been spent on this. However, in the future, I will try my best to comprehend teleportation. The Silver Wing King replied. Oh, the Star Illusion King was shocked. At the same time, he said respectfully, combining teleportation and space strangulation to create a special flying technique? That's really admirable. The space laws could indeed be split into teleportation, space strangulation, and space lock, these three main categories. Every category was split into many smaller categories. Like teleportation, it could be split into dead object teleportation, space resonance, body merging with space, and many other smaller categories. Only by solving all of them would one have the ability to teleport. This was just one of the categories. Just like how humans could be split into men and women, they could also be split into infants, children, youths, adults, and old. According to different theories, there were indeed many ways to categorize them. After all, the different categories combined to form a whole space law. Naturally, the different categories could be merged together. You're too kind, the Golden Horned Beast said seriously. That's the truth. In terms of instantaneous flying speed, amongst all the emperors I've seen, you're definitely number one. The Star Illusion King said. Thank you. The Golden Horned Beast wasn't arrogant at all, because he was clear that excuse was just something he made up. As someone with some accomplishments in the space laws, naturally he could come up with a suitable excuse. In terms of flying, he relied on the universe treasure, slaying Wu Wings. After bidding farewell to Star Illusion King, Luo Feng returned to his Earth body and swiftly sat in the ship above the endless ice fields, preparing to find a new nest. While he was flying in the ship, Luo Feng couldn't contain his curiosity and excitement. He let the Masha clansmen and Golden Horned Beast begin to study the treasures from the black-armored youth. Within the world of the World Ring, the black-clothed Luo Feng and the Golden Horned Beast both appeared there. The black-clothed Luo Feng had 2 world rings on his hands. These were the spoils of war from the Memory clan black-armored youth. To be able to make the Earth body and Golden Horned Beast feel a strong calling, every cell in their bodies trembling in excitement, just what treasures are within. The black-clothed Luo Feng held one of the world rings that had a shocking calling. Beside him, the Golden Horned Beast immediately used its spirit energy to permeate it. Rumble. The black-armored youth was long dead. The life imprint on the world ring was like water without a source. It was extremely weak and fragile. It immediately dispersed, and the spirit energy permeated within. Hualalala, large amounts of spoils of war were immediately transported to the ground by the Golden Horned Beast. It's this. Following the strong calling from the Golden Horned Beast, the black-clothed Luo Feng reached out and grabbed the item. This was a palm-sized, completely black. It was incomparably light, cold, and glossy, like caressing a piece of jade. It was exactly the same as the black metal board Luo Feng discovered on Earth back then. It was made from the exact same material. Its size was similar too. More accurately speaking, it was slightly bigger. The second black metal board, black-clothed Luo Feng held his breath. It's actually this. He could feel the armor and soldier armors. To be able to obtain such a terrifying technique that even humanity's treasure trove didn't have, the nameless manual. It was all because of this black metal board. This was the foundation of the inheritance. No wonder the calling for my body far exceeds that of the armor and soldier armors. Luo Feng thought. Actually, just this metal board's material. It's much more mysterious than any of the G-grade metals I know of. Within it should be the nameless manual. I hope there's information on the second level. Luo Feng anticipated. The nameless manual had a total of 9 levels. The black metal board from Earthback then only allowed Luo Feng to learn the first level. And this second black metal board might not have the second level's information. It was hard to say. It could be the 7th or 8th level. If that was the case, if he didn't train in the middle, he wouldn't be able to train in the later levels. He would have to train one level after another. Just like the Nashi race, even if he got the black metal board, without the first level's information, he wouldn't be able to train. Ow! The golden horned beast let out a low growl. It lowered its head, and its spirit energy permeated the black metal board. My child, following the voice that permeated Luo Feng's consciousness. This was the same experience as the first time Luo Feng inspected the first black metal board. The same voice, followed closely by the endless illusions. However, in terms of willpower, Luo Feng was obviously much stronger than before. Very quickly, he made it through, following which, just like before, large amounts of words and information entered the golden horned beast spirit energy, allowing it to obtain large amounts of information. The information this time was much more than before. There were a total of 59,103 words in the Flame God race's language. The contents this time were mainly the 2nd, 5th, and 7th levels, of which the 2nd and 5th levels had completely filled up the original flaws. The 7th level, however, only had an additional 3,000 words. It was far from complete. Right now, nameless manual 9 levels. First level complete. Second level complete. Third level incomplete. Fourth level incomplete. Fifth level complete. The last 4 levels were all incomplete. Ha ha. It's really a gift when I'm sleepy. I always thought that my earth body and the golden horned beast body strength wasn't enough. Hence I got this second black metal board. The second level is still complete. At least I can train immediately. Black-clothed Luo Feng was beside, his face filled with excitement. Howl! The golden horned beast raised its head and let out an excited howl. Excited, excited. This was breaking through the limits of one's genes. Such a technique, other than the nameless manual, Luo Feng had never even heard of it before. With Luo Feng's position and authority within humanity, he had access to many techniques. Even the primal Chaos City leader and other tyrants' techniques, he had access to some. However, he had never seen such a technique that should have been destroyed by the universe origin laws. It shouldn't exist. To train the second level, it'll probably take some time. Black-clothed Luo Feng muttered to himself. Back then, during the first level, the Earth body took 3 months. The golden horned beast took 29 years. This second level will take some time too. I'm not in a rush to train now. Let's see what other treasures this Nashi youth has. To be able to get the black metal board, he must have had great luck. To be able to use time stop at an emperor level, with such great luck, he might even have other treasures. After keeping the second black metal board, he began to carefully search through all the treasures left behind by the black armored youth. Chapter 840. All of the items left behind by the black armored youth were taken out and thrown into the vast grassland. The items added together cover an area of over 10,000 kilometers. Even though there was a lot, the precious ones were after all few. One of the items immediately attracted Luo Feng's attention. A 29-centimeter long segment of 1,000-year light. The black-clothed Luo Feng lowered his head and looked at a laser-like substance. This 29 centimeters long light landed on the grass. If one were to look closely at this light, they would feel the time around them distort, and they would be immersed in it. 1,000-year light, a peculiar substance. It was a precious material used to create time weapons. Such a material could only be found in a black hole core or in some special universe secret regions. It was priceless. This 29 centimeters piece of 1,000-year light. Even if I were to buy it, I would have to spend 3 billion points in the treasure trove. Black-clothed Luo Feng muttered. This Nashi race warrior actually has such a treasure material. Green light, white, do wood. Length 32 kilometers. Cross-section diameter between 1 m and 2 m. Thickness varies. 9 pure light sand, 360 pellets. Black-clothed Luo Feng swiftly discerned. The more he looked, the happier he got. Looks like this Nashi youth has accumulated so many materials. He definitely wants to create an extremely powerful time law weapon. Luo Feng muttered, "That black whip's material is not bad. It can be big or small, and it also contains time law engravings. However, it's estimated to be around 100 million to 200 million points. How could it compare to these? Just these materials alone cost me about 8 billion points, and that's just the points I had to pay for them. I'm afraid the Devourer youth paid even more. If this weapon is forged, it'll be incredibly powerful." After going through all of the items once, black-clothed Luo Feng smiled. "Very good. The efficiency of accumulating merits and treasures. How could it compare to killing people with backgrounds? One kill could get large amounts of treasures. Of course, the bigger the background, the harder it was to kill. Like killing the black-armored youth. It wasn't as hard as killing the automaton Suika. Compared to killing Luo Feng, killing Suika was much easier. Black-armored youth, Suika, Luo Feng. They all had backgrounds, and their backgrounds were getting bigger and bigger. If he succeeded in killing Luo Feng, killing We Use Wings, Beast God Weapon, Locks God Water, Black Metal Plate, General Armor, that would be a huge haul. Even though they had backgrounds, the black-armored youth, Suika, the knights behind them didn't dare barge into the foreign battlefields. As for Luo Feng's teacher, the Primal Chaos City leader, back then the Primal Chaos City leader himself said he didn't wish to see the day Luo Feng called for help. After all, the Primal Chaos City leader barged into the foreign battlefields. Even though with his position, he dared to do so. It was a little embarrassing. If he wasn't forced to the last moment, the Primal Chaos City leader wouldn't be willing to do that. Yes, not bad. Black-clothed Luo Feng nodded. The golden-horned beast at the side was looking down at the countless items. Suddenly, it was attracted by a seemingly normal crystal. The golden-horned beast suddenly lowered its head. Its dark golden eyes stared at the seemingly normal crystal amongst the countless items. This was a seemingly normal, transparent crystal in the shape of a multifaceted sphere. Whoosh! The black-clothed Luo Feng also flew to the side and stared. The multifaceted spherical crystal was about the size of a soccer ball. It landed on the ground and looked very ordinary. Shio! A thread of world energy scanned the surface of the crystal, and after studying it, it immediately permeated within to study it. Wong! As the world energy permeated within, the crystal suddenly lit up. Hua! Rainbow-colored lights, with this multifaceted sphere as the center, shot out in all directions, almost like a glaring rainbow-colored sun. The endless rainbow light immediately enveloped the entire world. Under this endless rainbow light, the black-clothed Luo Feng and the golden-horned beast both felt the time distort. My God! Black-clothed Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. Howl! The golden-horned beast roared softly, its dark golden eyes, too, staring wide. The two great bodies stared at the seemingly normal crystal before, but now it was glaring and emitting an endless rainbow light that enveloped the entire world. That mysterious and powerful energy and the strange feeling of time distort. This made Luo Feng immediately understand. Treasure. I've picked up a treasure. Damn. This is that black-armored youth's true treasure. I've always been curious. He's only an initial Emperor level. How can he unleash the time pause? This move's difficulty is rumored to be even harder than teleportation. It has to be this treasure. Luo Feng muttered, staring hard at the incomparably glaring crystal. Actually, back then, when the Nashi clan youth unleashed the time pause, Luo Feng only thought it was a combination of his natural abilities and origin law comprehension. Right now, looking at this mysterious crystal ball, Luo Feng was certain in an instant that it was most probably because of this crystal ball. Luo Feng had seen treasures before, but one with such a huge energy was rare. Chi, chi, chi. The crystal ball began to emit a dense amount of mysterious words. These peculiar words were like origin law engravings. Even though Luo Feng didn't understand these words, he understood with one look. These words. Luo Feng stared. Demon note, inheritance. These are the words I saw during the inheritance. Yes, Luo Feng had only seen these mysterious words once before. Back at Demon Note Mountain, when he received the Demon Note inheritance, the words that appeared in the inheritance palace were these mysterious words. He didn't understand these words at all, yet it allowed him to easily understand what they meant. It was very mysterious. The content was simple. The main idea was, this is the Dreamlight God Envoy's inheritance crystal. Any sector Lord level life form with a soul can receive the complete inheritance. After receiving the inheritance, you can begin training the Dreamlight God Envoy technique. Once the entire technique is trained to perfection, you will be a God Envoy candidate. The candidate can absorb this inheritance crystal within your body. If you succeed, you will become the new Dreamlight God Envoy. In the vast universe, there's only one Dreamlight God Envoy. If the current Divine Emissary Dreamlight is still around, the other successors can only become Divine Emissary Dreamlight candidates. Only when the current Divine Emissary Dreamlight perishes will a new Divine Emissary Dreamlight appear amongst the Divine Emissary Dreamlight candidates. The inheritance crystal can only be passed down once every 10,081 eras. The last time this inheritance crystal was passed down was 82 years ago. There's still about 9,999 eras before the next one. The black-clothed Luo Feng blinked after reading. He finally understood. This Dreamlight God Envoy inheritance seemed to have been trained to perfection by more than one person. Obviously, the training difficulty was much lower than the Demon Note inheritance. Back then, the Demon Note inheritance had already said, yet over countless years, no one had been able to receive the entire inheritance. And the method of inheritance seemed different too. The Demon Note inheritance was one step at a time. Reaching the end of the steps was when the training was completed. The Dreamlight God Envoy inheritance, however, required one to first receive the entire technique and train it. Once it was completed, one would become a God Envoy candidate. When the current Dreamlight God Envoy falls, only then would he succeed. I still have to wait for 9,999 years before the next inheritance can begin. Damn, 100 million years. Luo Feng laughed involuntarily. Looks like this inheritance crystal was obtained by that Nashur youth from the last inheritance. He must have obtained this mysterious inheritance technique. Hence, he was able to unleash the time-stop technique. What do I do with this inheritance crystal? Luo Feng muttered. This was a treasure, however he couldn't use it at all. Just by guessing, he could guess that it had something to do with the time laws. And he walked the path of the Beast God. His path of the Beast God was the true path to the universe Lord level. The main thing was space and gold. Naturally, he wouldn't waste time studying the time laws. Everyone had their own specialties. Time had to be spent on what he was good at. Unable to use it, this didn't diminish its value at all. This was an inheritance crystal. Every 10,081 eras, it could only be inherited once. Its value was indeed hard to determine. I can't use it either. It's a waste on me. Even if someone wants to use it, they'll have to wait until after 9999 eras. Luo Feng shook his head. I'm afraid only the warriors that have lived long enough have the patience to wait. I have to ask my teacher how to deal with this treasure. Luo Feng immediately made his decision. Dreamlight God Envoy's inheritance crystal. Luo Feng hadn't even seen it in the treasure trove. Obviously, it was an extremely rare treasure. Such a treasure, going to ask the Primal Chaos City leader, was the easiest way to deal with it. Teacher True, Yin trains in the space laws. Right now, he's stuck at the last step, becoming a universe lord. This treasure is useless to him too. Luo Feng was very grateful to True Yin. If he could help his teacher, he would be willing. It was just that True Yin was stuck at the last step. Many treasures were useless to him. The treasures that were useful were things Luo Feng couldn't take out. Virtual universe, Thunder Island's highest peak. Within the endless chaos energy flow, there was a palace. That was the primal chaos city leader's palace. Shua. Luo Feng appeared outside the entrance of the palace. After entering, he walked in step by step. Teacher. Standing in the palace, Luo Feng bowed respectfully. What business do you have with me? A calm voice resounded from within the chaos energy flow. Your disciple was in the outer region battlefield, and coincidentally acquired treasure. Luo Feng said respectfully. This treasure, your disciple has never seen it before. It's only when I was inspecting it that mysterious words automatically appeared on the crystal. Only then did I know that it was the inheritance crystal of the Dream Light God Envoy's inheritance. God Envoy Inheritance Crystal. The primal chaos city leader walked out from the endless energy flow. Even though he didn't reveal his energy, his life force was truly high and mighty. Luo Feng couldn't help but feel a sense of submission. The primal chaos city leader's expression was casual. His eyes were as deep as the starry sky. After which he revealed a smile. You were actually able to acquire a God Envoy Inheritance Crystal. Your luck is not bad. The Great Alliance only has a total of 8,000 God Envoy Inheritance Crystals. As for the Dream Light Inheritance Crystal, there's only one in the Alliance. It's considered extremely rare. Pup. Luo Feng blinked. Don't be surprised, the primal chaos city leader said. Back when you received the Demon Note Inheritance, there were 32 Demon Note Inheritance Palaces. Even if Dream Light God Envoy had tens or hundreds of inheritance crystals, what's so strange about that? P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 841. Luo Feng was disappointed within. No matter if he wanted to sell the inheritance crystals or use them for other things, the rarer they were the better. Now that he heard, Dreamlight God Envoy actually had tens to hundreds of them. The entire Hong Alliance has more than 8,000 Oracle's inheritance crystals. Among them, there are 101 Oracle's inheritance crystals of the same type. The primal Chaos City leader stood there, energy swirling around him. Dreamlight God Envoy Inheritance Crystal, there's only one in the Great Alliance. Hence the value of yours is higher. Luo Feng was delighted within, continuing to listen carefully. The God Envoy Inheritance is lower than the God General Inheritance by a level. The Primal Chaos City Master said, even if one cultivates the God Envoy Inheritance to great success and becomes a God Envoy candidate, one would only be at the peak of the Emperor level. Only by merging with the Inheritance Crystal and becoming a God Envoy of a certain type would one have the strength of a normal Universe Lord, which is the strength of your teacher True Yin. Teacher True Yin Emperor? Luo Feng was shocked. The Primal Chaos City leader nodded. Your teacher True Yin Emperor can be said to be an emperor, undying, invincible, comparable to a normal universe knight. This is the power of God Emissary Dreamlight and the other God Emissaries. As for those God Emissary candidates, although they have all reached large success in their secret techniques, they can only be considered peak experts. They can't be compared to ordinary universe supremacies. Also, there's a downside to accepting the inheritance. If you don't train it to completion, it's fine. The moment you do, then your lifetime's limit will be the God Envoy. The Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng, meaning to say, training the special techniques of the God Envoy Inheritance, even though your early strength is very strong. The moment you reach completion, you'll be affected by the technique, forever unable to become a true Universe Knight. Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. Unable to become a Universe Knight? Indeed, fortune and misfortune go hand in hand. The early strength is so strong, yet unable to become a Universe Knight. To become a Universe Knight, it's already extremely difficult. Hence, many geniuses don't have that huge of an ambition, even willing to take the initiative to train in the God Envoy Inheritance. The Primal Chaos City leader said, as the God Envoy Inheritance has to be received by Sector Lords, Undyings are unable to receive it. Hence, the price of each inheritance isn't considered high. Luo Feng nodded. Right? For a world overlord to accept the inheritance, how high could the price be? Usually, it's their teacher who pays for it. In the Han Alliance, if you accept the Oracle's inheritance once, you can exchange points for it. The price is between 1 billion and 3 billion. Different inheritances have different powers and prices. The primal Chaos City Lord said, if it's the inheritance of a god general, then it's different. Those titled emperors and undying are all fighting to get a chance at the inheritance, and even asking their teachers for help. Every chance they get is worth tens of billions of points. At the same time, their teachers have to ask other experts for help, owing a bunch of favors. Tens of billions of points plus a bunch of favors, only to barely get a chance to inherit the God General. The primal Chaos City Master said, you should know how precious the God General's inheritance is. For example, True Yin has received the inheritance of a divine general. Oh, Luo Feng was curious. The divine emissary inheritance's ultimate limit is the Regis. Even if you become the only divine emissary, you will only be comparable to an ordinary universe supremacy. The inheritance of a divine general is 1 trillion times more difficult. Once you receive the complete inheritance, you will be at the limit of a universe supremacy. Even if you face a lord of the universe, you will have a certain chance of surviving. Your strength is comparable to the creator of the 7 transformations, Hiroto. Similar to the Tian Shi Palace leader, even though he hasn't truly reached the universe lord level, he can still be considered an overlord of the universe. The primal Chaos City Lord said, of course the inheritance of a divine general is incredibly difficult. It's very rare for anyone to receive the complete inheritance. Even so, the benefits are huge. It's definitely comparable to training in a soul amplification technique or a body amplification technique. Luo Feng nodded. After receiving the inheritance, his soul amplification had already exceeded over 3,200. God Emissary Inheritance, Divine General Inheritance. The difference is too huge. The difference in strength is huge too. The difference in future is huge too. Hence, within the Great Alliance, the difference in points exchange is huge too. The primal Chaos City Lord looked at Luo Feng. As for the Dreamlight, God Emissary Inheritance crystal you received, it's useless in your hands. You have 2 choices now. 1. Sell it to the Virtual Universe Company. The price is 30 billion points. 2nd, you can use it to exchange for a chance at the Divine General Legacy, because the Divine General Legacy only appears once every 10,081 epochs in every Legacy land. Hence, a suitable inheritance for you will only appear after 120,000 years. 2 choices, choose yourself. After the primal Chaos City Lord finished, he didn't speak further, quietly waiting for Luo Feng's reply. Luo Feng's heart was in a mess. 2 choices, it was really hard to choose. The 30 billion points had many uses. It could be exchanged for various treasures. If used well, it could allow one's strength to rise at a crucial time. Who knew at certain times what treasures he would need? After all, this was hard to predict. The chance to inherit the God General's inheritance was even more precious, causing countless Emperor-level undyings to fight for it. Their Universe Knight teacher had to help too, with tens of billions of points and a bunch of favors to earn this spot. Luo Feng, who had received the Demon Note inheritance, was very clear on how powerful this inheritance was. If he were to receive the body type inheritance, his body amplification might instantly increase by 10 times. That would be amazing. Training deities of the world to its limit, it was only 36 times. How do I choose? Even though the inheritance is good, it has to be 120,000 years later. Within these 120,000 years, I won't get any benefits. Luo Feng frowned. If it were any other warrior, they would probably immediately choose the slot. However, Luo Feng was different. Luo Feng had only lived for a few thousand years, 120,000 years. To him, it was a very long period of time. Just a few thousand years, and his accomplishments were already this high. In these 120,000 years, how much would he grow? What encounters would he have? There would definitely be times where he would need points. Luo Feng stood there, intensely thinking for a full 20 seconds. With his mental processing speed, it was unknown how many times he had thought. Teacher, Luo Feng said respectfully, have you thought about it? The primal Chaos City Lord looked at him. Your disciple wishes to temporarily keep the inheritance crystals, whether to exchange for points or the slot for the inheritance. I'll choose again in the future when the time comes. Luo Feng said respectfully. That's fine too. The primal Chaos City Lord nodded. I'll help you keep the slot for the inheritance. That slot is for the four-way generals. I'll keep it for you until 120,000 years later. Thank you, teacher. Luo Feng was grateful. How could there be such a thing as keeping the slot? If he wanted it, he wanted it. This was purely the primal Chaos City Lord helping him. Go. Yes. Luo Feng retreated respectfully. Watching Luo Feng vanish from the palace, the primal Chaos City Lord standing in the palace nodded. Looking at the battle footage of Luo Feng in the army system, he actually easily killed an official pinnacle, even using the fire god crystal explosion to kill an emperor-level beginner level. Even though the slaying Wu feather deflected a lot of the impact, but the slaying Wu feather is after all proficient in flying. Attack and defense are just supplementary. Its golden horn beast clone was actually able to withstand the explosion of the Emperor high-level fire god origin crystal under such circumstances. Looks like this disciple of mine is even more mysterious than I thought. I wonder what encounters he had. The inheritance of a powerful warrior from another race? Or was it some kind of special treasure born in the universe? And it's even before the Great Apocalypse. The primal Chaos City Lord shook his head. He has the encounters, however becoming strong still depends on the individual. Let's see how far this disciple of mine can reach. The primal Chaos City Lord knew a lot about Luo Feng. However, with regards to the nameless manual, armor, and general armor, he knew nothing at all. Humanity's knowledge in this area was currently a blank slate. However, as he was constantly observing Luo Feng's growth, the primal Chaos City Lord naturally deduced that Luo Feng had a very powerful and terrifying encounter. Only with the knowledge of the primal Chaos City Lord, there were many possibilities, but he couldn't confirm which one it was. Outside the battlefield, Yin Ji continent, within a cave within a normal mountain range, Luo Feng had temporarily made this his base. The mini-scanning device was activated. The cloud contact Vine 2 spread out to a 10 kilometers area of alert. The Masha clansman became a rock within the cave. As for Luo Feng's earth body and golden horn beast, they began to train in the Nameless Manual's second level. The second level is much harder than the first. Woo! The genes actually evolved once more. That's unbelievable. As he trained, Luo Feng couldn't help but exclaim. The first level, the genes had long evolved far beyond normal human sector lords. Now the second level actually evolved again, with Luo Feng's estimation. If he continued training like this, his human body's genes would probably evolve to a level comparable to a normal golden horn beast. Humans and golden horn beasts, the genetic difference was huge. Relying on the Nameless Manual, he could still make up for it. A technique that surpassed the universe laws. It was just that unbelievable. Pung. The golden horn beast's body completely crumbled, after which it formed a new golden horn beast and continued with the second level. During the second month of Luo Feng's second level, virtual universe, Xiang Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. Your Majesty, those are the envoys from the Great Alliance. The housekeeper Dylan pointed at the distant villa entrance. Luo Feng walked over, frowning. Great Alliance? Outside the villa's huge door stood a group of undyings. They all looked different. Some were human, some were other races, a total of 9 warriors. Attention all. Luo Feng walked over, slightly suspicious. He could feel the formless consciousness pressure from these warriors. They were all Emperor level. Your Majesty, Luo Feng. The leader was dressed in pink armor. She had pink long hair. Her entire body was almost translucent. She smiled. Her smile even affected Luo Feng. "We're the Great Alliance's envoys. We have come here to officially invite Your Majesty Luo Feng to join us." Chapter 842. Luo Feng frowned. Inviting him to join the Great Alliance? According to the information he had read about the Great Alliance, along with chatting with the other human warriors, normal Undyings would usually receive an invitation when they were officially appointed emperor. Becoming an emperor was one of the basic requirements to enter the Great Alliance. He had never heard of sector lords being invited to join the alliance. "Everyone please enter. Facing such a matter, I'm caught off guard. How about we sit and discuss?" Luo Feng smiled and asked, "Your Majesty's invitation, we definitely won't reject it." This team of envoys from the Great Alliance, under Luo Feng's lead, passed through the vast villa and reached the living room. Within the living room, Luo Feng had already ordered the servants to prepare a sumptuous banquet. "Everyone please sit." Luo Feng smiled. The group of Great Alliance members all sat down, simultaneously looking at this Majesty Luo Feng with interest. Since they were arranged to be part of the envoys, they naturally understood Luo Feng. They knew that this Luo Feng before them was the direct disciple of one of the highest beings of humanity, the primal chaos city leader. And he was invited to join the Great Alliance when he was a sector lord. This all showed how extraordinary this Majesty Luo Feng was. "I still don't know you all." Luo Feng sat last. Human, Desire Emperor. The leader was an absolute beauty, dressed in a pink armor that only covered her important areas. Her exposed body was a translucent human lady. Every frown and smile was enough to move one's soul. Ferocious Clan, Lightning Chasing Emperor. Fog Clan, Water Drop Emperor. The 9 envoys all replied. A total of 2 humans and 7 other races, all of them emperor level. "Ah, they're all emperor level." Luo Feng smiled and complimented. "I rarely see so many emperors at once, and so many other races too. The weakest in the Great Alliance is at least emperor level. It's not worthy of praise." Desire Emperor's smile was enough to make even an Undying's soul go crazy. "I'm sure Your Majesty knows why we're here. The Great Alliance is a very inclusive alliance, formed by the human race and many other races in the universe. We definitely won't force you to join. However, the moment you join, you cannot betray the alliance. I wonder if Your Majesty Luo Feng is willing to join?" The other envoys all looked at Luo Feng. "Of course I'm willing." Luo Feng nodded. What a joke. All the super experts of a human race were there. So who would dare to not join? His 2 teachers were part of it. So how could he dare to not join? Moreover, by joining them, one would be able to get to know almost all the titled Undying kings of the human race. This was the core place to truly expand one's influence and make friends. Ding! The moment Luo Feng's words left his mouth, a glaring star suddenly condensed in the middle of the living room. The star shone brightly. After that, it gradually shrunk into a beam of light and flew onto Luo Feng's arm guard, revealing a small star. Boom! At the same time, a blurry human silhouette floated in midair. Under that formless pressure, even though the 9 Imperial envoys and Luo Feng could vaguely see the silhouette, they couldn't raise their heads to look at it. He was like an ant in front of God, unable to resist at all. The human silhouette lowered its head, gazing at Luo Feng. Human Luo Feng. The silhouette let out a voice. It was hard to tell if it was a male or a female voice, piercing straight into one's soul. "Welcome to the Hong Alliance. From now on, you are an official member of the Hong Alliance. There are dangers lurking in the universe. Races need to survive, so we need the elites of our races to fight. Fight for the Hong Alliance. Fight for humanity. This is the mission of every human elite. It is also your mission." The light slowly dissipated, but the voice continued to reverberate in Luo Feng's consciousness. The entire living room was silent for a long time. "Fight for the Hong Alliance. Fight for humanity," Luo Feng muttered. "Everyone." Luo Feng awoke, looking at the other 9 envoys. "I wonder who that human silhouette from before was." Even though the primal Chaos City teacher had been hiding his aura before him, he would occasionally reveal a sliver of his aura. Compared to the human silhouette from before, the human silhouette's aura wasn't any weaker than the primal Chaos City teacher's. This is the mystery of the Hong Alliance. Lightning Pursuer King, who looked like a bug race warrior, laughed. Everyone who officially joins the Great Alliance will see this scene, causing countless members of the Great Alliance to wonder who this human silhouette is. Some say it's the avatar of one of the leaders of the Great Alliance Palace, while others say it's some AI system in the virtual universe. The virtual universe system can simulate any kind of pressure, so naturally it's possible. Luo Feng asked curiously, "One of the leaders of the Hong Alliance Palace? Your teacher, the respected primal Chaos City leader, is one of the leaders of the Hong Alliance Palace. They are both beings beyond 7 stars. Lightning Chasing Emperor said, "An existence that transcends 7 star?" Luo Feng lowered his head to look at the star mark on his arm. "I'm considered a 1 star, right?" Lightning Chasing Emperor nodded. "Anyone that just joins the Hong Alliance is a 1 star. 1 star, that's the lowest position in the Hong Alliance. Everyone starts off as a 1 star. Luo Feng, you don't have to think too much about it. Just joining, and I'm already a 1 star. Naturally, I won't be discouraged." Luo Feng said curiously, "This 1 star, 7 stars leader, can you tell me in detail?" Beside, Desire Emperor tried to stop him. "Luo Feng, you are already a member of the Hong Alliance. You can check up on the detailed information of the Hong Alliance now." King Desire said, "Everything can be checked. If I wanted to explain in detail, I don't know how long it would take. After all, there are too many things that need to be described in the Hongmeng City. We can't finish explaining everything in a short amount of time. Before you enter the Hongmeng City, you should first look through the information. That way, you won't be clueless when you enter the Hongmeng City." Luo Feng nodded and smiled. "I've already joined the Hong Alliance. The official business is done. Let's all join in the banquet." "Haha, Your Majesty Luo Feng's banquet. How can we reject it? This is a rare opportunity." The envoy team's 9 emperors all had the intention of befriending Luo Feng. After a lively banquet, they left happily. Within the study, Luo Feng sat in front of his desk and swiftly began to look through the detailed information of the Hong Alliance. There's really a lot. Luo Feng looked at the screen and couldn't help but praise. Before he joined, he couldn't get the detailed information, but now it was truly satisfying. Pictures, videos, written information, it was all there. From the pictures and videos, the headquarters of the Hong Alliance was a specially open space in the virtual universe. There were countless stars in the space, and in the center of the stars, there was a huge floating ancient city. This floating ancient city was the home of countless strong warriors, Hong Alliance City. Hong Alliance City was a gathering place for humans and large amounts of other races. The strong were as common as the clouds. It was very peaceful here. It was after all the virtual universe. Naturally, it was peaceful. The hierarchy here was very strict. It was based on one's strength and contribution to determine one's position. The higher one's position was, the more power he would have. The official members of the Hong Alliance were all based on their battle records. The stronger their battle records, the higher their strength. The ranks here were 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, all the way up to 7 star. It was a very simple division. All the strong warriors would have star marks on their arm guards or sleeves. This allowed them to easily determine the strength of the other members. All new members of the Hong Alliance were all 1 star. After which, based on their battle records in reality, the virtual universe system's Hong Alliance City system would automatically determine their battle records and strength. From there, they would be divided into ranks. 1 star. All new members of the Hong Alliance were at this level. Normally, they were Emperor level and Undying level. 2 star. They were considered the strongest amongst the Emperor level. 3 star. The limit of the Emperor level. 4 star. The initial level of the Universe Knight. Like Truyan Emperor, he was also at this level. 7 stars. The initial level of the Universe Lord. The leader of Tianshi Palace was also at this level. What a huge city! Hong Alliance City It split into Outer City, Inner City, and Hong Alliance Palace. Luo Feng looked at the footage and exclaimed, "The number of human warriors is shocking. There are about 100,000 Emperor-level undyings. However, the large number of foreign races add up to over 3 million. On the footage, an ancient city floating in space surrounded by large amounts of stars. The Outer City was filled with a dense amount of warriors. Over 3 million undyings from different races were gathered here. Their strength was split into 1 star to 3 stars. They all lived in the Outer City. And in the Inner City, there was almost no one in the footage. Their strength was split into 4 stars to 6 stars. They lived in the Inner City. Almost everyone in the Inner City was a Universe Knight. In the center of the entire Hong Alliance City, it was a 1,000,000 km tall, resplendent, and mysterious palace. It was almost like a huge blade that pierced through space. This was Hong Alliance Palace. Within Hong Alliance Palace resided 7-star beings. 7-star beings. They were at least overlords like Tianshi Palace Leader or Shihua Duo. The palace masters of the Hong Alliance Palace were existences that had surpassed 7 stars. All of them were absolute overlords that could shake the trillions of races in the universe. Who? This is their hidden, true strength, Luo Feng exclaimed within. Just like the primal Chaos City leader, he had the ability to reverse time and revive other warriors. Over countless years, the number of warriors had been accumulating. Luo Feng had long guessed that there would be many Emperor-level undyings. However, there were actually about 100,000 of them. The race alliance is the way to go. The pinnacle races are strong. The other races are weak. However, the other races added together have many warriors. There's actually a total of over 3 million Emperor-level undyings. Even so, the entire Hong Alliance is still dominated by humans. Looks like in terms of the pinnacle of power, the humans have the advantage. Luo Feng guessed it too. Just like Shihua Duo, he was the greatest being in the history of the Golden Horn race. And the Tianshi Palace Leader, who was on the same level as Shihua Duo, wasn't even at the highest level. The highest level was the creator of the huge axe, the Void Gold Lord, the Dragon Travel Lord, the Primal Chaos City Leader, etc. From this, one could see the difference in strength. The humans dominate and occupy large amounts of territory and resources. Even though there are many other races, they can only follow behind the humans. Luo Feng thought. No idea. Within Hong Alliance Palace, how many leaders are there? Luo Feng tried to search, but couldn't find anything. Obviously, he didn't have enough authority. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 843. Luo Feng carefully read through the information regarding Hongmeng. The more he read, the more shocked he got. Hongmeng City gathered all the warriors of humanity and many other races, and who would own the treasures of each race. Of course, it would be the powerful Emperor Undyings, the Universe Knights, and even the Pinnacle Universe Lords. They owned the majority of the wealth of the many races in Hongmeng. Hence, the auctions that some of the so-called bank stars attended, compared to the transactions in Hongmeng City, were simply child's play. The normal transactions were 1 billion mixed elements. Some of the larger transactions were even more ridiculous. Even the rare and special treasures were traded with other items. Auctions. Huge transactions. Elite teams that explored the universe secret regions. Elite teams from the alien battlefields. Shared interests, shared goals, formed special organizations. Anyway, don't just look at the 3 million strong warriors in Hongmeng City. They controlled the wealth and survival of humanity and a large number of races. Humanity was the ruler of Hongmeng. Like the Primal Chaos City Leader, the Void Gold Lord, and the other absolute overlords, they may have the same interest in the survival of their races, however, to nurture their own forces and obtain treasures, etc. There were also conflicts of interest. After all, even the Primal Chaos City Leader, Void Gold Lord, Dragon Leader, they all had their own desires. Humans had internal conflicts. The large number of other races also wanted a bigger share and more resources. Anyway, Hongmeng City was truly a place where crooks and dragons mixed together, with powers everywhere. Just from the information I've gathered, I've discovered so many things. Indeed, the greater the benefits, the more intense the conflict. Looks like I'll have to spend some time researching after entering Hongmeng City. However, I'm currently training in the Nameless Manual's second level. My Earth body's training speed is fast. I'd better finish early and let my Earth body have the strength to stand on Yanji Continent. Yanji Continent, Luo Feng's hideout. Luo Feng wasn't in a rush to head to Hongmeng City. It was obviously a place with many hidden forces he had to investigate carefully. The first level of the Nameless Manual, my Earth body spent 3 months to train. The Golden Horned Beast spent 29 years. The second level seems similar. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, Luo Feng had been training for close to 3 months. Inside the world, on a beach of the endless sea, a half-naked Luo Feng sat cross-legged on the beach. His entire body glowed. The energy he emitted was no longer normal. Just like the Golden Horned Beast and the Destructive Beast, even though they were asleep, they still made other life forms feel pressured. This was the pressure brought about by the evolution of life forms. With the Golden Horned Beast's peak bloodline, when it was a sector lord at its peak, it was 10 times stronger than a human. After Luo Feng finished his second level, his Earth body was 6 times that of a normal human. It was definitely comparable to the royal bloodline of the demon race. Phew! Luo Feng gently opened his eyes. I succeeded. My physical fitness has reached 6 times, not 9 times as I had guessed. Luo Feng shook his head and laughed. I'm too greedy. The genetic evolution itself is heaven-defying. It's equivalent to my Earth's bloodline being comparable to the demon royal bloodline. If I successfully cultivate the third tribulation, I'm afraid I'll surpass the peak bloodline of the astral beast. This nameless secret manual had a total of 9 tribulations. The first tribulation, 3 times. The second tribulation, 6 times. The third tribulation, all the way until the 9th tribulation. Just relying on this technique to allow a normal human body to evolve to a level that far surpassed the Golden Horned Beast and the Destructive Beast bloodline. His foundation was already so far ahead, breaking through the universe origin law's shackles. What kind of heaven-defying technique was this? The higher Luo Feng's position was, the more he realized how precious this technique was. It's time to try absorbing the Blood River crystals. The last time I absorbed 8 crystals. Now that I've already completed the second level of the Nameless Manual, my genes have risen by a huge amount. I'm only 1 level away from the Golden Horned Beast. I'm already comparable to the Demon Royal bloodline. Luo Feng thought. Who knows? I might even become the Black Warrior that hasn't been born in countless years on Blood River Continent. Hua, hua. The ocean water crashed against the beach, submerging Luo Feng's calves. Begin. Luo Feng flipped his hand, and a beautiful Blood River crystal appeared. His fingers pierced through his palm and grabbed the crystal. The intense pain from absorbing the 9th crystal was something Luo Feng could easily endure. He just stood there on the beach. After a while, everything returned to normal. Very good. Success. The 9th is a success. Now it all depends on the 10th. Luo Feng, who was still calm before, couldn't help but hold his breath. He swiftly pierced through his palm and absorbed the new crystal. The killing aura was easily blocked, and the Blood River energy began to merge into his body. Unlike the Golden Horned Beast's huge body that only its right claw could absorb the Blood River energy, Luo Feng's entire body was transforming. Chi, his entire body's muscles were trembling. Luo Feng's expression changed. He forced himself to look down at the crystal in his palm. It was already transparent. The Blood River energy had already completely entered his body and was undergoing the final step of transformation. I must succeed. I must succeed. Luo Feng frowned and felt his entire body. His bones and tendons seemed to be pressured to their limits. Cracking sounds could be heard, almost as though they could break at any time. The Blood River energy entered every cell of his muscles and tendons, causing the pressure to get stronger and stronger. As the last bit of Blood River energy entered, The pressure finally ebbed and disappeared like a receding tide. Luo Feng's entire body was already covered in scales. The scales swiftly disappeared. Luo Feng stood quietly on the beach, thinking for a while. Ha ha! I've succeeded. I've become a black warrior. A true black warrior. Luo Feng couldn't help but excitedly wave his right fist fiercely, causing the space around to tremble. A strong shock wave rippled in all directions, causing the calm waves ahead to suddenly form a 100 m tall huge wave, rolling straight into the distance. 10 crystals. The 10th was a success. In Blood River World, the Black Warrior is already a legend, yet I've succeeded. Even though Luo Feng had long thought of this possibility, he still couldn't help but feel excited when he realized it. Actually, Luo Feng's success was very normal. In terms of genes, Luo Feng far surpassed the aboriginals of Blood River World. Even the wild beast Qin Yo that was comparable to the Demon Emperor was only on par with Luo Feng. Qin Yo had absorbed more crystals than Luo Feng. One reason was because his genes were high enough. Two was because he was an aborigine of Blood River World. His race was influenced by the formless beast god energy. Naturally, he could absorb more crystals. Even though I almost failed at the last moment, I still succeeded. I don't know if my guess is right. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Whether my earth body reaches the heavens in one step or slowly climbs, it all depends on this. Blood River energy. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with madness. Rumble, his entire body's skin glowed with a faint gold color. Even his eyes glowed with a faint gold color. His entire body was slightly slimmer, almost like steel, more refined. The current Luo Feng didn't seem human at all. He was more like an absolute ferocious beast, emitting a domineering aura. It's actually my guess was right. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with excitement. Haha, I actually guessed correctly. Earth body has absorbed 10 crystals, with the Blood River energy driving it. My genes have evolved, and my body's strength has actually exploded, reaching 10 times its original strength. Luo Feng was extremely shocked. Yes, his body strength had increased by a whole 10 times. Back when the golden horned beast absorbed 10 crystals, its right claw's strength was equivalent to its entire body strength, which was 2 times its original strength. One was 2 times, the other was 10 times. Luo Feng had his guesses long ago. The theory was simple. Because the golden horned beast body was too huge, the Blood River energy could only cover its right claw. Just the right claw absorbing 10 crystals was already comparable to its entire body's strength before. Then how much did the right claw's strength rise by? Before the evolution, the right claw was at most 1/10 of its entire body strength. In an instant, it was comparable to its entire body's strength 10 times. The right claw itself was at least 10 times its original strength before the Blood River energy was activated. The golden horned beast had absorbed 100 crystals, causing its right claw to have 10 times its entire body strength. Just one claw alone was equivalent to 10 times its entire body strength. Then how much did the right claw evolve by? At least 100 times. The golden horned beast's body was huge. There were pros and cons. The cons were that absorbing the crystals was a huge disadvantage. The Earth body, however, had Blood River energy covering its entire body. The evolution was a complete transformation of the entire body. Naturally, its body strength would reach 10 times its original strength. Very good, what a surprise. Looks like my plan from back then will work. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation and excitement. He roared, "Beast God transformation!" Immediately, countless scales appeared on Luo Feng's skin, making him look like a human-shaped beast god. Success. Beast god transformation is perfect, huh? My earth body now has enough strength. Luo Feng thought about the future battles and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Luo Feng trained the Nameless Manual. His genes evolved, and his body strength was 6 times that of a normal Sector Lord Pinnacle. And with the Blood River energy's activation, the beast god blood essence caused his body's genes to rise and evolve. immediately by 10 times. This caused Luo Feng to reach 60 times Sector Lord strength. Beast God transformation, first level, body strength amplification by 2 times. That would be 120 times Sector Lord strength. And the general armor's minimum requirement was 100 times Sector Lord strength. I'll have another Emperor level battle strength. Luo Feng, in his human-shaped beast god form, flipped his hand and took out a crystal silver pearl. The general armor pearl. General armor pearl. Absorb it. So, the armor pearl directly charged into Luo Feng's body and transformed into countless threads that began to fuse with every cell in Luo Feng's muscles, organs, and other cells, completely fusing with the armor pearl. The pressure of fusing with the armor pearl is huge, but the current Luo Feng can easily handle it. A barely discernible general character appeared on Luo Feng's chest and then disappeared. General armor, appear. A silver armor swiftly appeared on Luo Feng's body, giving him 10,000 times Sector Lord strength. In an instant, Luo Feng's body's strength reached the Emperor level. Along with his blade techniques and pinnacle techniques, an Emperor-level battle strength was formed just like that. Haha, from today onwards, I'll have 2 Emperor-level battle strengths. My Earth body and the Golden Horn Beast, both with Emperor-level strength. I alone can't deal with the enemy. The 2 of us will attack together. Chapter 844. Relying on the second level to complete and absorbing 10 Blood River crystals to become the legendary Black Warrior, along with the armor. Even though his Earth body was still weaker than the Golden Horn Beast, he was already at the level of an Emperor. 2 Emperors. Luo Feng was naturally very confident. It was very hard for an Emperor to kill an opponent. Even the Golden Horn Beast with the Wu Killer Wings had to rely on an Emperor-level explosion worth 800 million points to kill the opponent. And the Fire God Origin Crystal couldn't be used so casually, because the explosion would affect the user too. If it wasn't for the Golden Horn Beast's Wu Killer Wings and armor, it would have been blown to bits long ago. Hence, when an Emperor fought normally, they would at most suppress the opponent by a bit. Death was rare, and fighting with numbers was the norm. With 2 Emperors working together, they would be able to surround the opponent from both sides, making it impossible for the opponent to escape. My Earth body has completed. It's time to enter Hongmeng City and take a look. The Earth body spent close to 3 months to complete the second level. As for the Golden Horn Beast, it would probably take around 30 years. Luo Feng didn't have the patience to wait for 30 years before returning to Hongmeng City. Standing in his villa in the primal region of Yuxiang Mountain, Luo Feng immediately activated his teleportation. As a member of Hongmeng, he now had one more target, Hongmeng City. Xiao. Luo Feng vanished in mid-air and was immediately teleported to another space. The highest level space in the virtual universe, the place where the strongest gather the most, was Hongmeng Space. In the vast and endless space, surrounded by stars, an ancient majestic city floated. This was Hongmeng City. Wang. With Luo Feng's arrival, one of the countless stars surrounding Hongmeng City slightly lit up. This is Hongmeng City. Luo Feng appeared in the living room. It was less than 1,000 square meters. Looking around, he creased his eyebrows. This was obviously a very small living room. His stature was relatively small, but there were still those that were over 10 m tall. Those that were larger, the living room seemed much smaller. Luo Feng, Luo Feng. Babata shouted from Luo Feng's shoulder. I received a message. This is your living room. All the official members of Hongmeng City have the same living room. It's about 3,200 square meters. So small. Luo Feng shook his head. Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region Villa is a few thousand km too. With such a small space, it wouldn't even be enough to practice my attacks. Luo Feng. According to the information sent to my virtual assistant by the Hongmeng City Management System, Hongmeng City isn't a place for you to practice your attacks. It's a place for all the powerful fighters to communicate and gather. All the powerful fighters have the same body fitness level. which is the weak body of a student. I felt it. Luo Feng nodded. Back then, when Luo Feng first entered the virtual universe, the Black Dragon Mountain Island was like that too. All the humans had the same body qualities. This was to prevent fighting and killing. It was impossible to judge a person's strength just by looking at their appearance. And Yuxiang Mountain was a place where geniuses gathered. In a place where geniuses were nurtured, fighting and training were the mainstream. Therefore, everyone had the same physical quality as in reality. In reality, he was a domain Lord level 9, and in the virtual universe, he would also be a domain Lord level 9. This way, it would be suitable for training and battles. However, Hongmeng City returned to its usual state. Everyone's body was as weak as ever. It's not just the emperors. Even the universe knights have such a weak body in Hongmeng City. Babata said, hence, as long as the knight keeps his consciousness pressure, then even if it's a knight standing in front of you, you won't be able to recognize him. Because everyone's body and genetic energy strength are the same. The only difference is the consciousness, and as long as the consciousness pressure is kept, there's no way to tell who's stronger or weaker. Let's go take a look. Luo Feng walked out of his living quarters. This was a quiet and spacious small district. Every house, including the empty space, was about 3,200 square kilometers, and they were all 2 stories tall. Only the style of the houses were different. Hongmeng City's outer city is the most bustling and bustling. After all, the inner city is home to universe knights. And how many are there in total? At least it's very quiet. Hongmeng City's outer city, however, has over 3 million residents. They're split into small districts, and every district has a fixed maximum of 10,000 residents. Babata's consciousness said to Luo Feng. Walking on the streets of the district, Luo Feng actually felt a little like Earth's Mingyue district. However, looking at the different styles of houses, looking at the distant, weird-looking warriors, even some of the rock-life, energy-life forms, only then did he feel that this was where the large number of races in Hongmeng City gathered. Looking up at the sky, it was an endless starry sky, densely packed with stars. According to the information I found, Luo Feng said softly, every star here represents a warrior in Hongmeng City. I wonder which one is mine. There are so many warriors ahead. Luo Feng looked ahead. In the empty space ahead, there were many tables and chairs. There were groups of 2 or 3 warriors from different races holding drinks as they chatted and laughed. With a glance, there were at least a few hundred of them, of which there were about 5 humans. The rest were from different races. Hey, newcomer. I've never seen you before. Did you just join Hongmeng? Come, let's have a drink. Immediately, many warriors raised their cups and greeted him. Even though we're from different races, everyone is very friendly and warm. Luo Feng thought within, simultaneously ordering, Babata, don't reveal my identity. After all, the identity of the direct disciple of the primal Chaos City leader was too shocking. Luo Feng, being the direct disciple of the primal Chaos City leader, had long since spread within Hongmeng City. Also, a sector lord was rare in Hongmeng City. Luo Feng didn't want to become a gorilla being watched. Understood, Babata said. Luo Feng smiled at the foreign warriors that expressed their friendliness, casually grabbing a glass of fruit wine from the bar and walking toward the 5 human warriors that were sitting together. Warriors of the same race would naturally attract each other and stick together. You don't mind if I sit here? Luo Feng was dressed in a tight-fitting black armor. His facial features were slightly altered. Also, the news of Luo Feng joining Hongmeng City was known by very few. Other than the 108 knights in management, only the envoys knew. The envoys had their own confidentiality rules. Haha, no need to be so polite. Sit. The other 5 human king-ranked experts smiled and said. Luo Feng looked at the star marks on their arm guards. 4 of them were 2-star and 1 3-star. You must have just arrived in Hongmeng City. Let me introduce myself. I'm with Jade Emperor. A dark-skinned man with a head of hair that looked like a tree crown said, These 4. Luo Feng, with Jade Emperor, and the other 4 chatted happily. Occasionally, other foreign race warriors would come over to greet them. This allowed Luo Feng to get to know quite a few of them. He could feel that Hongmeng City's atmosphere was peaceful. One had to know that in Yanji continent, it was very difficult for the emperors to get along, and it was very rare to see so many emperors. How many emperors were there in Yanji continent? Aside from the fact that the enemy being hunted would teleport over, it would be an extravagant hope to see two conferred kings at the same time. However, in Hongmeng City, they were everywhere. Ice Mountain is here. What a piece of trash. The foreign warriors suddenly became rowdy, causing Luo Feng to be slightly shocked. Luo Feng followed the gazes of the other warriors, only to see a silhouette in the distance, dressed in white armor, with hundreds of snow braids and a mask that revealed only a single eye. This was a foreign warrior. The expert, nicknamed Iceberg, also took a glass of fruit wine from the open-air bar, walked to an empty table, and drank alone. Ice Mountain, you're still not scramming? You can even sit here. You really don't care about your face at all. If we were outside, I would have killed you long ago. The other races all mocked him. However, Ice Mountain leisurely finished his wine and stood up. He stretched his body and glanced at the group of foreign undyings. He snorted softly, "What a bunch of idiots." After which, he walked along the road and headed out of the small district. Watching Ice Mountain leave, Luo Feng asked curiously, "What's up with this Ice Mountain? Angering the masses?" It can't really be considered angering the masses. Would Jade Emperor laugh softly? Where there are strong warriors, naturally there will be fights. Our small district currently has over 8,000 emperors from different races. As time passes, as they are destined to stay in the same small district forever, they naturally form their own powers and form their own groups. The larger ones have up to 1,000 emperors, the smaller ones have up to a few hundred. Luo Feng nodded. After being assigned to a small district, it was fixed. Many of them had been here for trillions of years. Naturally, their relationships were closer, forming powers that supported each other. That was normal. Internal transactions and other matters that Ice Mountain didn't give face to the leaders of the large powers, hence they all resisted. Beside, a tall and huge armored dual-horned beast man said solemnly, "Luckily, it's in the virtual universe. If it was in reality, that Ice Mountain would definitely be done for." What Jade Emperor said, that Ice Mountain's actions can't be considered a mistake. Luo Feng was stunned. If it couldn't be considered a mistake, why would he end up like this? He can only blame the fact that he's from a weak race. What Jade Emperor shook his head. The influence of a race's power is still huge. That Ice Mountain is from the Nobu's race, a weak race. It's said that the entire race only has one universe knight. In the entire Great Alliance, the Nobu's race has no influence at all. You see, such a weak race, if you were to keep a low profile, it would be fine. However, to be so high profile, everyone in Great Alliance City is an emperor. Even if he's the son of the Nobu's race's universe knight, no one would care about him. However, like I said, what he did can't be considered a mistake. He didn't do anything wrong. The mistake was his identity. Would Jade Emperor laughed. If it were a human warrior, even if he did that, who would dare mess with him? Just like when you came earlier, you didn't see the other races being so welcoming. Because in Great Alliance City, we humans are the strongest. What Jade Emperor said softly. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 845. What Jade Emperor was a very talkative and loved to make friends. When Luo Feng expressed that he was prepared to explore Hongmeng City, what Jade Emperor said confidently, "I can't be more familiar with the various places in Hongmeng City. I'll accompany you and give you a tour of Hongmeng City and give you an introduction. Then I'll have to trouble you." Luo Feng smiled. "No trouble. Undyings have limitless lifespans. They can't just train all the time. As for adventuring and fighting, it's only once in a while. With such a long lifespan, there has to be some things, right? To be able to accompany a good friend to explore Hongmeng City, it's a joyous thing." What Jade Emperor smiled, revealing his snow-white teeth. Under what Jade Emperor's lead, Luo Feng began to stroll around Hongmeng City. Hongmeng City, The lowest level of residents were at least emperor level. Countless warriors gathered in this city. Naturally, it was very developed. Normally, rare sights could be seen everywhere here. Large ship trades, plant life, metal life trades, warrior employment services, special items appraisal services, large auction houses, new gambling services. Gambling? Luo Feng saw a strange 7-story palace in front of him. On the palace, there were 3 human words, Puya Palace. As a warrior, most of them are adventurous, and with their long lifespans, there aren't many things to do. Gambling in Puya Palace, it's also a form of entertainment. Come, I'll let you experience it. Wood Jade Emperor pulled Luo Feng and entered the palace. The moment they entered, they saw large amounts of warriors. This huge palace that was a few km long and wide was bustling with activity. Open, open, open. The group of king-ranked formidable martial artists from the various races all stared ahead. At the same time, they laughed and shouted, clearly very excited. Number 1031. The attendant shouted the number. Immediately, many warriors within the palace cursed and scolded. However, there were some who shouted, Number 1031 is Nongtsong Emperor. Nongtsong Emperor has earned big this time. Nongtsong Emperor, you've earned 100 million mixed elements worth of treasures. You have to treat us to a feast. Don't be stingy. Is Nongtsong Emperor such a stingy human? There was a commotion, after which a tall man with long curly hair shouted, Go, go, go. Whoever has a ticket, go to the 9 Incense Palace. Heroic spirit. How forthright. Cheers immediately rang out. Luo Feng, who had just entered, looked over curiously. Wood Jade Emperor, what's going on? This is called the 1 in 10,000 type of gambling, said King Wood Jade with a smile. Furthermore, Puya Palace doesn't earn much from this type of gambling. Oh, Luo Feng was shocked. This kind of gambling game is very simple. It's just that the casino will take out a treasure worth 100 million mixed element units. This is definitely not a random price. These treasures that are taken out are usually sold for at least 100 million mixed element units in some shops outside. King Wood Jade explained, the casino, Puya Palace, took out this treasure and started selling 10,000 tickets. Each ticket is worth 10,000 mixed elements. When all 10,000 ticket numbers are sold, at a specific time, we'll begin to choose the one and only ticket number. The person with that ticket number will be able to obtain the treasure worth 100 million mixed elements, King Wood Jade said. So that's how it is. Luo Feng understood. How interesting. This was equivalent to 10,000 warriors pooling their money to buy one treasure, and then the lucky one out of these 10,000 warriors would obtain the treasure alone. Investing 10,000 would result in 100 million. Of course, there would be more losers. Anyway, each ticket is only 10,000 mixed elements. Gambling once in a while, it's still fun. King Wood Jade walked in at the same time, introducing Luo Feng to the various types of gambling. These types of gambling were very similar to some of the most popular gambling methods on Earth. There are also some unique ones. The small gambles range from a few hundred mixed elements to the high ones in the billions. However, these types of gambling at the highest scale were only done once in a while. Even the Emperor Pinnacle warriors wouldn't dare gamble that much. Who? Walking out of Puya Palace, Luo Feng exclaimed, How good is the Puya Palace at earning money? With so many warriors coming over to gamble, the casino just takes a small cut and earns a shocking amount. The Puya Palace is the only casino in the entire Hongmeng city. Even though they have to pay taxes to the Hongmeng, the profits are still shocking. It's a business without any capital. Wood Jade Emperor exclaimed, It's impossible to apply to the Hongmeng to build a casino. There's only one slot, and this Puya Palace. Rumor has it that this Puya Palace's backer is one of the leaders of the Hongmeng Palace. Some even say that it's a collaboration between a few leaders. Luo Feng nodded. It's not just the Puya Palace. Wood Jade Emperor walked on the streets, pointing at the distant huge shops. The various businesses all have a limit to the number of shops. These shops have to at least be backed by a universe knight to build them. Hence, to earn huge profits from the Hongmeng, not everyone has the chance. Of course, there's a win and a loss. Other than the Puya Palace and a few other places that are unique, Even though there are limits to the number of shops, they aren't the only ones. There's still competition. Huh? Even though we emperors can't open shops, we don't have to pay to stay in the Hongmeng. As long as we don't gamble or shop, naturally we don't have to pay. However, as long as the shop is open, we have to pay taxes to the Hongmeng. Would Jade Emperor pointed ahead. Look, that's the best shop out of all the shops. It's called Treasure Hall. It's said that it's opened by a human leader of the Hongmeng Palace. Treasure Hall had a total of 2 levels. Every level's space was comparable to the Puya Palace. One had to know that the Hongmeng was very frugal with their land. Even the Emperor and Undying's residences were only that big. Hence a few km long and wide shops were huge. How much could they store? Who? He. Luo Feng entered Yubao Hall and looked at the countless treasures that filled his vision. Beside every treasure was a diagram. On the diagram were videos, pictures, and written information. They explained in detail the origins of the treasures, their specialties, and their prices. The treasures on the first floor of Treasure Hall range from 1 million mixed elements to 100 billion mixed elements. They have everything. Would Jade Emperor pointed in the distance. Look at the staircase leading to the second floor. Luo Feng turned to look. Treasure Hall is the best shop in the Hongmeng. The first floor has countless treasures. The second floor has even more valuable treasures. Some of them can be bought with mixed elements. Some of them are even prohibited from being bought with money. One has to use other treasures to exchange for them, bartering. Would Jade Emperor explained. You should know that there are some special treasures in the universe that are extremely rare. Some are even unique. To give an accurate price is very difficult. Unique treasures may be useless to some warriors. However, to others they are priceless treasures. Since the value cannot be determined, bartering has become the norm. Luo Feng nodded. He walked and observed. After a while, he reached the staircase. This isn't a place you can go up. At the 100m wide staircase, there were 9 beauties from different races standing. One of them said coldly to Luo Feng. Luo Feng was stunned. The second floor of Treasure Hall isn't a place anyone can enter. An ear-piercing voice carried from behind. A man with purple jade like scales on his head, dressed in a strange golden robe, and his entire body seemed to be carved out of purple jade, walked past Luo Feng. He walked up the stairs and glanced at Luo Feng. Yang. Would Jade Emperor walked over. Looking at the golden robe warrior, he said, to go up to the second floor, one has to be a 4-star being or even higher. Or one has to have over 100 billion mixed elements in the universe, First Bank or Universe Galaxy Bank. Only those who fit the criteria can go up. Who's that strong-looking punk? Luo Feng smiled. He's called Wu Lu Wang. Would Jade Emperor said softly. Even though he's a foreign race, his teacher is a 7-star being. His teacher dotes on him and treats him like his own son. The disciple of a foreign race, 7-star being. Luo Feng smiled. That Wu Lu Wang is an extremely vicious person. Moreover, he's very open with the strong warriors of the human race. He does have a group of strong friends. Yang, we're not in the same circle as him, don't mess with him. What Jade Emperor said. Different circles had different levels. Those with huge backgrounds or strong powers would naturally be friends. Luo Feng nodded. There are countless treasures on this floor, trillions of them. It's enough for you to look at them for a long time. Would Jade Emperor smiled. That's true. Luo Feng nodded. Towards that Wu Lu Wang. Luo Feng only smiled disdainfully within. Looks like the foreign races indeed had low self-esteem amongst the humans. Otherwise, the truly confident ones may not care about the other party, but they wouldn't say it out loud to purposely attack the other party to show their own status. This was a sign of low self-esteem. Treasure Hall was indeed the largest and best shop in Great Alliance City. There were many treasures, and they were rare. Some weren't even in the virtual universe company treasure trove. Of course, there were some that the treasure troves didn't have in Treasure Hall. However, buying from the treasure trove, how could it compare to the feeling of shopping within the palace? It really makes one envious. The golden-horned beast deities of the world treasures. I've found quite a few too. The more Luo Feng looked, the more he liked it. He originally didn't have any plans to buy anything. However, looking at the trillions of treasures, he couldn't help but want to buy. However, the prices that really made him want to buy were usually a few hundred million, a few billion, or even tens of billions of mixed elements. However, he had no money on him. Even though he had some spoils of war from killing the Sher clan youth, he hadn't exchanged them for money yet. Luo Feng's gaze was suddenly attracted by a peculiar golden armor that was about 8 tall. Even though this was created from the virtual universe, the moment he saw this peculiar golden armor, Luo Feng immediately thought of soldier armor and general armor. This is... Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Chapter 846. Luo Feng carefully observed the golden armor before him, especially the energy emitted from it. It was closer to a soldier's armor or general's armor's feeling. Only, this golden armor was created by the virtual universe after scanning the armor in reality. Luo Feng was in the virtual universe too. Naturally, he couldn't sense it. If it was in reality, he could easily feel the calling. However, it wasn't possible in the virtual universe. The feeling it gives me is very similar to a soldier armor or general armor. Luo Feng looked at the map beside. On it were detailed pictures, introductions, and prices. Luo Feng couldn't help but reveal a look of glee. Flame God Race. The map had a detailed introduction. This gold armor was obtained from a large race war in the ancient times in the outer region battlefield. The original owner was an emperor-level warrior of the Flame God race. He was extremely strong, and the number of emperor-level warriors that fell under his hands numbered in the tens, after which he was killed by a universe knight in a large-scale battle. After being killed by a supreme expert of the universe, the Flame God race's king was directly turned into ashes, dying. However, the golden armor on his body was completely undamaged. It was shocking. They all thought that it was a powerful and mysterious treasure. This armor was treated as a spoil of war. After studying it carefully, one realized the armor couldn't change its size. It couldn't be absorbed in a body. However, its material was something that even a universe knight would have to seriously attack before it would crack. As an experiment, there were 3 tiny cracks on it. Even though it couldn't change its size, an undying could transform his body into undying energy and enter the armor, forming an undying body that matched the armor. After experimenting, one realized that even if he couldn't absorb it, as long as he wore it, any soul attack that passed through the armor would be weakened by over 90%. When material attack landed on the armor, the impact would be weakened by over 90%. To be able to weaken even physical and soul attacks, this golden armor was a priceless treasure. However, it had a fatal weakness. This armor was already fixed and couldn't be changed. This caused a series of problems. 1. A fully solidified armor, the wrist and shoulder area would be stiff. If one was a fighter, it would be very hard to wield a blade while wearing the armor, because the armor was completely solidified. Moreover, if a god who was originally only 2 meters tall wanted to condense an immortal divine body that was more than 8 meters tall, it would have a huge impact on their strength. A human undying was 2 tall, they definitely wouldn't purposely condense to 10 or even 1000 or 10K. Even though they could condense, it would affect their strength greatly. Therefore, the original body shape was the strongest state. 3. Although this set of golden armor had a helmet, the face was exposed. Therefore, as long as a soul attack, material attack, attacked the face, it would not be obstructed by the golden armor, and the power of the soul attack, material attack, would not be weakened. 3 fatal weaknesses, coupled with an extremely high asking price, 5 billion mixed elements. Instantly, this golden armor, which was originally extremely valuable, became unpopular. 5 billion mixed elements. Luo Feng looked and nodded. Not bad, the price isn't too outrageous. Yang, with Jade Emperor, walked over. Seeing Luo Feng focused on the golden armor and the information on the blueprint, he couldn't help but laugh loudly. This armor is indeed mysterious, able to block soul and material attacks. However, its weakness is obvious too, especially the exposed face, making its original strength almost useless. Especially the price of 5 billion mixed elements. Haha, this armor is only useful to the emperors. However, which emperor would be willing to spend 5 billion to buy an armor that requires one to condense an immortal divine body to adapt to? Luo Feng looked at what Jade Emperor. No one has bought it before, even though it had many flaws. But the advantages were shocking. There should be absolute warriors who would buy it. Of course people have bought it before. Would Jade King sneered. Back then, the Black Phoenix King bought this golden armor. In order to adapt to the golden armor, she transformed her body and condensed a divine body to wear the golden armor. She even specially made a mask to match the golden armor. However, in the end, encountering a foreign race warrior in the universe secret region, due to changing the size of the immortal divine body, the Black Phoenix Emperor's strength was weakened. Furthermore, that foreign race expert was much stronger than him. After a few exchanges, he discovered that her mask was a weakness. After all, the Black Phoenix King's specially forged mask isn't as magical as the golden armor. The mask can only weaken soul attacks by 15%. The enemy's soul attack penetrated through her face. After a huge battle, the Black Phoenix Emperor fell. Sigh, what a pity. Would Jade Emperor shook his head. One must know that the most terrifying among the emperors are those that specialize in soul attacks. And soul attacks are naturally formless and fast, able to penetrate any part of the body. As long as the body has a weakness, no matter how good the defense is, it's useless against soul attacks. The armor is useless against soul attacks, and it even causes the user to change their undying divine body to adapt to it, causing their strength to weaken. It's really a waste to throw away. If it's cheap, 500 million, 600 million mixed elements, I'll buy it. But 5 billion mixed elements, it's enough to make any emperor's heart ache, not willing to use it to buy such an item. What Jade Emperor said, over the countless years, after a few unlucky bastards fell, no one would be stupid enough to buy it anymore. However, it's also strange, this armor has been lost a few times, changing hands a few times. It's even been in the enemy camp before landing in our Great Alliance's hands. However, our Great Alliance has always set the price at 5 billion mixed elements. In theory, if it hasn't been sold for a long time, it means the price isn't right and we should lower it. However, it's always been 5 billion mixed elements. Oh, when this armor first appeared, it was priced at 50 billion. After the first user fell, it was lowered to 5 billion. Over the countless years, it's been maintained at 5 billion. Almost change hands? Luo Feng asked curiously. Yubao Hall only has this armor, a total of 3. Would Jade Emperor said. However, this one with the cracks was sold to the Black Phoenix Emperor back then. I even know that Black Phoenix Emperor. How? Luo Feng nodded, carefully looking at the armor. It could simultaneously weaken material attacks and soul attacks. Unable to change size, completely solidify, unable to assimilate into the body. Flame God race? That's it. Luo Feng confirmed with these 4 points. This is an armor that's even higher than the soldier armor and general armor. Flame God race? That's soldier imprint, general imprint. They're both flame God race words. Unable to merge into the body? The Masha clansman that hasn't trained the nameless manual similarly can't merge into the soldier armor or general armor. Unable to change size? As long as it's merged into the body, it can change as it pleases, weakening material attacks and soul attacks. This makes me even more certain. This is similar to the soldier armor and general armor. Luo Feng couldn't help but feel excited within. Hongmeng City was indeed a place where countless treasures were gathered by humans and large numbers of races. He just casually strolled around and found this mysterious armor. It was just that even though there were many treasures in Hongmeng City, they were all clearly priced. Luckily, the warriors of the various races in Hongmeng City couldn't truly use it, hence the price wasn't high. I have to buy it, Luo Feng thought. Luo Feng was very clear on his trump cards. Although the Wu-slaying wings were very powerful treasures, to him, the nameless secret tome and the general armor were more important. This was because these two could increase his own combat ability. The general armor increased his sector lord strength by 10,000 times, allowing him to make up for the difference between him and an undying. And its defense against attacks also increased his survivability. General armor. This was the main reason why the Golden Horned Beast and his Earth body had Emperor-level battle strength. After all, just based on origin law comprehension, Luo Feng's Beast God state could only reach the 18th level. It was far from Kudi's 20th level back then. However, relying on the mysterious general armor, he still had extremely powerful battle strength. Along with the Wu Killer Wings and his own creation, he could easily kill an official level pinnacle. He even relied on the fire god Origin Crystal to kill an Emperor-level beginner. If it wasn't for the Nameless Manual and general armor, I'm only an official level warrior. I have to thank the powerful beings that created the Nameless Manual. Luo Feng guessed within. The humans of Earth were nurtured by the powerful beings of the other races. The Flame God Clan, too, was nurtured by that powerful being. The Nameless Manual was a technique that went against the laws of the universe. It was probably created by that powerful being, too. Even though I've never met him, I've benefited a lot from him. Luo Feng thought. Would Jade Emperor? Luo Feng said. Yang? Would Jade Emperor looked curiously at Luo Feng. There's something I need your help with. Luo Feng smiled and brought Would Jade Emperor out of the shop. To buy the golden armor, he needed at least 5 billion mixed elements. Luckily, it was only 5 billion. It wasn't enough to force him to sell the inheritance crystals. However, the large amount of items left behind by the Naishi clan youth, Luo Feng had to get serious and try to sell them for a high price. Those spoils of war. Luo Feng would have to spend about 8 billion points, even with his extremely low discount. Of course, those Emperor-level warriors wouldn't be able to enjoy such a low discount. Luo Feng was the direct disciple of the Primal Chaos City leader, hence he had such a discount. The Virtual Universe Company didn't earn much from Luo Feng. After spending a day and a half, Luo Feng finally sold all his spoils of war. He first asked the Virtual Universe Company for a price. They were willing to buy it for 7 billion mixed elements. After which he asked the shops in Great Mang City. They too were willing to buy it for a price of 8 billion mixed elements. Selling it at retail was still worth it. That would Jade Emperor passionately brought Luo Feng to his own residential area to ask about the price, after which he contacted his friends. Finally, he sold it for 6 billion mixed elements. If I exchange for treasures from the Virtual Universe Company and sell them in Great Mang City, wouldn't I make a profit? It's a pity. The Virtual Universe Company doesn't just forbid me, even the Primal Region core members, from selling their items. Luo Feng sighed within. The Virtual Universe Company only wanted to nurture them. They didn't want to earn much. Hence the price was low. A day and a half later, Luo Feng came to the Yu Bao Hall alone. He specifically looked for a time when there were no other customers in the hall. Treasures were expensive, and an emperor might only be able to purchase one after countless years. There were only slightly more than 3 million emperor powerhouses in the entire Hongmeng City. Only a handful of emperor powerhouses would enter the Yu Bao Hall to take a look. Come over. Luo Feng summoned the waiter. This guest, what would you like to buy? The waiter walked over. This golden armor is rather unique. I'll buy it. Luo Feng said directly. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 847. Golden armor? The attendant's eyes widened in disbelief. No one knew how long this set of golden armor had been on display, but it had never been sold. Some people in the Yu Bao Hall had long suggested that the higher-ups remove this set of golden armor or lower the price, but their suggestions had never succeeded. This set of golden armor had always been there, and its price had been set at 5 billion mixed elements for a long time. Customer, please wait a moment. At the same time, he called for the person in charge of the first floor of the Yu Bao Hall. She was a human woman with curly golden hair and a graceful figure. On her sleeves were 3 star marks. 3-star expert. The golden-haired lady smiled at Luo Feng. Let's talk inside. Luo Feng nodded, entering a room at the back of the shop. There was only Luo Feng and the golden-haired lady. The two of them sat facing each other. Let me introduce myself. I am King Tsang-Shin, the Deputy Hall Master of the Treasure Hall, the golden-haired woman said. Luo Feng only nodded and didn't say anything. It's rare to meet someone who wants to buy this set of golden armor. The golden-haired woman smiled and said, let me give you a piece of advice. None of the people who have bought this golden armor in history have gotten much benefit. 5 billion mixed elements is not a small number. Luo Feng nodded. He could be considered very rich, but if he had to spend 5 billion mixed elements to buy something of low value, he would be reluctant. However, this was a piece of armor from the Silver Armor series. Even a Universe Paragon powerhouse would have to be serious in order to damage it. It was clearly an armor of a higher grade than the Silver Armor. He had to buy it, even if he had to go bankrupt. I'll buy it, Luo Feng said. This is the purchase agreement, the blonde-haired lady said. With a virtual universe system supervising, both parties will sign. After signing, you could transfer the money directly to my Yubao Hall. If my Yubao Hall doesn't deliver the treasure to you, we will return the money and compensate you tenfold. Luo Feng and the golden-haired lady signed the agreement. Luo Feng immediately transferred the 5 billion mixed elements to the Yubao Hall account. I don't want a Yubao Hall to leak the news of me buying the golden armor. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Don't worry, the golden-haired woman said confidently. Our Yubao Hall has confidentiality rules. Of course, if you leak it yourself, you cannot blame our Yubao Hall. Luo Feng immediately got up and left. The golden-haired lady watched as Luo Feng left, after which she herself vanished from the room. Virtual universe, within a space belonging to the Universe Night. The golden-haired woman appeared on an endless land of ice and snow. There was a simple divine hall in the center of the land of ice and snow. There was no one in the divine hall, but an old man sat on the ground outside the divine hall. Hall Master. The golden-haired woman stood in front of the old man and greeted respectfully. What business does the Yubao Hall have? The old man looked at the golden-haired woman. This old man was the Hall Master of the Yubao Hall, a universe supremacy-level existence. Generally, only truly huge transactions would require his presence. The golden armor has been bought, the golden-haired woman said. That useless set of broken golden armor? The old man was puzzled. Yes, the golden-haired woman replied respectfully. Who bought it? The old man asked. He didn't reveal his identity, only leaving behind an illusory universe number to contact us to receive the goods. The blonde-haired lady said. Using the illusory universe number to ascertain his identity is very difficult. I can't do it either. Of course it's very difficult. The old man waved his hand. You may leave. Yes. The golden-haired woman vanished into thin air. The old man was the only one left on the land of ice and snow. He frowned slightly. A mere 5 billion mixed elements gold armor with such poor effects. Why does Master place so much importance on it? Master's orders, this armor has been maintained at 5 billion mixed elements. If anyone were to buy it, they had to inform Master immediately. Could it be that this armor really has some secrets? His master, he was one of the true overlords that stood at the pinnacle of the human race, and was also the true master of the Yubao Hall. Virtual universe, the highest point of Thunder Island, a silhouette suddenly appeared outside the palace that was hidden within the primal chaos energy. He had a tall and sturdy body, a long dragon tail, and a pair of eyes that seemed to contain the entire universe. Just by standing at the entrance of the palace, the formless tyrannical aura caused the entire virtual space to tremble and warp. Primal Chaos City Master. He stood outside the palace and said directly, his voice transmitted into the palace and reverberated within. Long Xing, you're already outside. Why don't you come in? A calm voice resounded from deep within the palace. 2. One was so tyrannical that it caused the entire space to tremble. The other was as calm as the ocean and the stars. Without your permission, how would I dare barge in? Long Xing's voice was powerful as he laughed mockingly and entered the palace. The primal chaos energy within the palace automatically parted, revealing a pathway that allowed Long Xing to see the primal Chaos City Master sitting on the throne in the distance. This Long Xing was also very straightforward. He directly walked to the first throne beside the primal Chaos City Master and sat down. I'm here for the Flame God Race Gold Armor. Flame God Race Gold Armor. The primal Chaos City Master's eyes lit up. Long Xing, you found a method to create the gold armor? Nope. Long Xing shook his head. That foreign race expert is indeed powerful to be able to mass-produce these mysterious armors. Our human race has researched for so many years and still haven't been able to create them. Then why did you come? The primal Chaos City Master was curious. Someone bought a set of the Flame God Race Gold Armor. Long Xing said. The primal Chaos City Master looked at Long Xing. It was one thing to buy it, but what was the point of telling him? He knew too. Long Xing purposely set the price of 5 billion mixed elements to force the Undyings who didn't have confidence to give up on buying it. Those who dare to buy it should have some confidence in using it. Undyings might have some miraculous encounters, figuring out how to use and create the armor. However, to specifically tell him, could it be the one who bought the armor is your disciple Luo Feng? Long Xing said. Even though the primal Chaos City Master had his guesses, the moment it was confirmed, many thoughts flashed through his mind, and he quickly confirmed some information. Your disciple is an Earth person, and the Earth people were born from the foreign race expert's guidance. Long Xing said. The Flame God race was also born from the foreign race expert's guidance. I'm afraid your disciple Luo Feng has the method to use the gold armor. So what if he has the method? How many sets are there in the race? The primal Chaos City Master shook his head. Finding the method to mass produce the armor, and even researching the secret method to create the Emperor armor is the most important. Otherwise, just a few sets are useless to us humans. Primal Chaos City Master, Long Xing, these absolute overlords of the universe, their standards were extremely high. The manufacturing method of the golden armor and the strongest Emperor armor of the Flame God race was what they were after. Obviously, for the Flame God race to be able to use it in large quantities, they obviously had the method to mass produce it. It was a pity that even after killing many Flame God race people, even searching their souls, using all sorts of methods, they still couldn't discover the secret. I won't bother with your disciple's matter. You as his teacher will handle it personally. Long Xing said forcefully. If he discovers an important secret, it will affect humanity's overall strength. That would be a huge merit. The primal Chaos City Master nodded. Leave it to me. Your main body has returned? Long Xing suddenly asked, his expression serious. Not yet. The primal Chaos City Master shook his head. Be careful. Long Xing said solemnly. Don't fall. If I fall, I'll just rely on the clone to form my main body. It'll take more energy and time. The primal Chaos City Master said. How much energy and treasures do you need to form your main body again? And how long will it take? So much energy and treasures. It's a huge blow to humanity. And losing your main body's strength for such a long period of time will have a huge impact too. You are an important strength of humanity. Long Xing smiled. Don't be too crazy, no one to stop. The primal Chaos City Master nodded. I'm leaving. Long Xing stood up and vanished. In the throne within the palace, the primal Chaos City Master sat there. Long Xing had already left for a long time. Even though Luo Feng created an absolute art, his origin law comprehension is very ordinary. The primal Chaos City Master frowned. Even though he killed Wu Yi, his battle strength is still weak. However, the battle strength he displayed is shocking. Even without killing Wu Yi, he has an Emperor-level battle strength. I always thought he had some special encounter and obtained some treasure, but now it seems it should be the Flame God race's armor and general armor. Sigh. The primal Chaos City Master sighed within. He was very disappointed, because the armor, general armor, and even higher-level ones, these were all mass-produced by the Flame God race. Maybe their effects were miraculous, and were extremely powerful at the undying level. However, as one's strength rose, the armor's effects would get weaker and weaker. These armors could only be produced in large quantities to be useful to the race. To an individual, it was just temporarily strong. I originally thought he had some special encounter. I thought it was some mysterious treasure from the universe, or from before the great apocalypse. The primal Chaos City Master shook his head. A true treasure would only get stronger as one's strength rose. Just like the Wu Yu Yi in the hands of an Undying, its power was only average. However, in the hands of a Universe Knight, it was incomparably terrifying. Even with the Universe Lord, it was still useful. That was a true treasure. This is just a deduction. Let's see if this disciple of mine can truly use the golden armor. The primal Chaos City Master said softly. Maybe he can't use it, and has other powerful methods to have such power. If he can use it, it means that this disciple of mine has a special way to use the armor. The way the Flame God race used the armor, humanity already knew. However, if they couldn't copy it, other than the Flame God race, the other races couldn't use it. Just like the war in the outer region back then, countless Undyings were turned to dust. Those wearing the armor and general armor were directly smashed into pieces and mixed with the countless remains. The humans who categorized the remains didn't notice anything special about the broken armor. They just treated it as broken pieces. And the golden armor, as it was a complete set, naturally was valued and treated as a treasure. Chapter 848. Luo Feng bought the golden armor from Yubao Hall in Great Meng City. The delivery time was 3 days later at Army Camp 026. Of course, rushing from Yanji Continent back to Camp 026 would normally take a few months or even a year or two. However, Luo Feng was anxious to get the golden armor. Plus, he had sold many of his spoils of war to the emperors in Great Meng City. The delivery point was also at Army Camp 026. Naturally, he had to make good use of the time. Using the God Country teleportation of the Star Eating Grass, Luo Feng directly returned to human territory from Yanji Continent. The teleportation point this time was a space rather close to Wu Niao Planet. Using the Dark Universe flight, he reached Wu Niao Planet in 2 days, and then through the space tunnel to the 7th battlefield, Army Camp 026. Within Army Camp 026, the internal teleportation tunnel. The new soldiers are here. Everyone, lead the new soldiers. Why are there so few new soldiers this time? The white-haired, white-robed, Undying in charge of leading the new soldiers and his subordinates were shocked at the new soldiers that were being teleported over, because there were simply too few new soldiers this time. According to the rules, normally 100 sector lords would be gathered for a single teleportation. Usually, the domain lords and universe levels that accompanied them added up to at least a few thousand, if not 10,000. However, this time, there were only a little over 1,000 people and only 10 sector lords. Wong, a formless pressure emanated. The white-robed Undying's expression changed. His gaze immediately landed on the silver-armored, silver-winged youth. That terrifying pressure emanated from this youth. It was so strong that the Undying's face went pale. So there's an Emperor-level Undying here. No wonder we only teleported so few people this time. Wu Niao Planet dared to let the sector lords, domain lords, and universe levels wait, but they couldn't let an Emperor-level Undying wait there. Lord, the white-robed Undying welcomed him. I know the way, Luo Feng said, following which he followed the familiar pathway within the army camp. This scene caused the white-robed immortal and his subordinates to smile along with him. Meanwhile, the group of over 1,000 new recruits all blinked their eyes. This powerful existence was at least a marquee, Undying, right? He actually gave me the same residence as last time on this island. Within the barracks, Luo Feng was once again given the villa on the island in the middle of the lake. Looks like no one has taken my place during this time. There was a convention in the allocation of accommodation. A titled emperor with extremely high military merits would be given a place to stay the first time. Then, the next time, as long as the place wasn't occupied by other Undyings, they would be given the same place again. Haiyong, a voice could be heard. Standing beside the island, Luo Feng raised his head and looked into the distance. About a few hundred km away on the peak of the mountain range, there was a luxurious residence, and a silhouette was looking over. Zima, Luo Feng communicated and laughed. It hasn't been long since you went back to the barracks, and you're back again? Haha, unfortunately, Kuta is currently in the Star Tower. A few hundred km away, the Emperor-level warrior said. After which, he took a step forward and crossed the sky, arriving outside Luo Feng Island. This was a warrior with 3 heads, 1 big and 2 small. You're not even inviting me in? How would I dare? Please come in. Luo Feng smiled. The island was private property. Without the owner's permission, naturally one couldn't enter. Within the barracks, no one dared to break the rules. It hasn't even been a year since you came and went. Zima said. I came back for business too. Hence I came back so quickly. Luo Feng said. The last time he went shopping in the barracks, he immediately returned to Yinji continent and fought the black armored youth head-on. After killing him and acquiring the 2nd black metal board, he trained for 3 months before returning. It indeed hadn't even been a year. Returning to the barracks, Luo Feng met with his old emperor friends. Many of them said, Young, you were black-armored and black-winged before. How come you're silver-winged now? Luo Feng replied immediately, You can change the color of the armor. Before it was black, now it's silver. Who knows, it might even be gold. These words made many of the other emperors laugh. Returning to the barracks. On the first day, Luo Feng swiftly handed large amounts of his spoils of war to the Virtual Universe company's transport department and began to send them to the emperors he traded with. On the second day, the golden armor arrived. Sir, these are the goods you bought. The Virtual Universe company's personnel specially sent the goods outside the island. Identity confirmation complete. Thanks. Luo Feng received the storage ring. The personnel bowed respectfully and left. Luo Feng's thread of world energy permeated into the storage ring. He easily discovered that within the storage ring, there was only one item, that golden armor. Actually, the moment the delivery person passed through the teleportation tunnel and arrived at number 026 base, Luo Feng, whose every cell in his body was boiling, knew. The treasure had arrived. He didn't even need to check to know it was right. Luo Feng was extremely excited at that time. Even though he had guessed it earlier and had high confidence, without relying on his body's senses, he didn't have 100% confidence. The feeling of boiling. The feeling of my entire body trembling. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with suppressed excitement. 5 billion mixed elements. Don't even mention this golden armor. Even that silver armor. Just the soul attacks and material attacks alone have over 90% resistance. That's enough to make even an emperor undying go bankrupt and fight for 50 billion mixed elements. Not to mention this set of golden armor. I've struck gold. Let's take a look. The ones before were called soldier armor, general armor. I wonder what this one is called. The excited Luo Feng swiftly returned to his living quarters and let the golden horned beast within his internal world begin to study the golden armor. Internal world. On the vast grassland, the grass had withered. A mountain range like golden horned beast was lying on the vast grassland. Suddenly, it stood up fiercely, as it had been training the Nameless Manual's 2nd level. Its body often crumbled and turned to dust. Hence the armor pearl had long been forced out of its body by the golden horned beast. So, the 8M tall golden armor appeared in the air above the grassland. Howl! The golden horned beast looked up at the tiny golden armor. Shio! The golden armor that was originally falling seemed to have received an incredibly strong summon. It immediately became a golden beam of light and rushed into the golden horned beast's body. After it entered, it became countless golden threads that seeped into every part of the golden horned beast's body. It also began to form a strange mark on its chest. The black scales on the golden horned beast's chest faintly revealed a flame god race word king before disappearing. King. Floating in mid-air, the black-clothed Luo Feng stared at the scales on the golden horned beast's chest. He couldn't help but be overjoyed. It's indeed as I guessed. It's even more powerful than the soldier armor and general armor. This should be considered the Emperor armor. Soldier armor, general armor, Emperor armor. I wonder if there's anything even more powerful than that. Whatever, this armor has already given the golden horned beast a huge amount of pressure. Let's see if it can activate the entire armor. Emperor armor, condense. Black-clothed Luo Feng stared at the golden-horned beast ahead. Howl! The golden-horned beast also raised its head and let out a roar, after which a layer of gold began to condense on the surface of its body. The originally black scales quickly became gold. In the blink of an eye, the entire body of the golden-horned beast became a dazzling gold. An incomparably strong pressure began to spread. Not enough. The pressure is too huge. The three bodies thought at the same time. Black-clothed Luo Feng's expression changed. The golden-horned beast howled softly. Its blood river energy completely exploded. Its body strength immediately increased by 12 times. Still not enough. The golden-horned beast's body began to swiftly shrink, unleashing deities of the world. Beast God transformation. Natural abilities. One by one, they were unleashed. The golden-horned beast's body continued to grow. The golden armor that originally gave it a huge amount of pressure was now reduced by over 99%. However, it still felt uncomfortable and restricted. Obviously, it hadn't activated the armor to its limit yet. The golden-horned beast's body isn't enough to fully activate the armor. In the following days, Luo Feng forced out the pearl and allowed the golden-horned beast to continue training the Nameless Manual's second level. At the same time, Luo Feng left the army camp and sat in a ship that took a few months to return to Yanji continent. He began a period of training, while studying his origin laws, while studying Bright Moon strategy, while training the second level. Occasionally hunting in Yanji continent, Luo Feng was living a carefree life. His Earth body's silver armor and silver wings image also let the warriors of Yanji continent know that there was a new blade-wielding human warrior called Yang. He had the strength of an emperor-level warrior. His movements were swift, and his blade techniques were ferocious. He had the strength of an emperor-level warrior and was not to be trifled with. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 30 years had passed. I've finally completed the second level. Now that it's fully unleashed, the golden horned beast can unleash over 10,000 times Sector Lord strength. I don't believe I can't activate the armor. Within the internal world, the black-clothed Luo Feng floated in mid-air and stared ahead. And the golden horned beast was once again merging with the Emperor Armor Pearl. The completely black golden-horned beast immediately shrunk, its body resembling that of a beast god. In an instant, it transformed into its strongest form, a completely golden beast. I've already successfully activated it to its limit. Indeed, only when one's body strength reaches 10,000 times Sector Lord strength can this armor be activated to its limit. The golden-horned beast let out roars after roars filled with joy that reverberated throughout the plains. This armor directly gave the golden-horned beast 100,000 times the strength of a Sector Lord. The human emperor undying body, even at its peak, only had 100,000 times Sector Lord strength. From this, one could see how amazing the armor was. Yanji continent. I have nothing to fear anymore. With such a powerful body, physical attacks below 100,000 times Sector Lord strength would be completely blocked by the armor. Soul attacks below the pinnacle of Emperor level would also be completely blocked by the armor. Even attacks exceeding 100,000 times Sector Lord strength would be weakened by over 90%. In terms of weakening, the armor was much stronger than the general armor. Chapter 849. Luo Feng's 189th year in Yanji continent. At the edge of the Yanji continent, on a towering mountain range that was millions of kilometers high, a silver-armored, silver-winged young man lay leisurely on a boulder. A blood shadow saber was placed beside him as he muttered, "Does the Nightlife King have something good for me? I hope he's not wasting my time." So, a silhouette appeared beside him. "He's here." The silver-armored, silver-winged youth stood up. "Young, you sure are relaxed." Night Chin Emperor mocked. This night, Qin Emperor was dressed in dark red armor. He had a pair of wings and a pair of golden eyes. I'm just enjoying a bit of leisure time. Luo Feng's eyes were like lightning, filled with a tyrannical energy. As a black warrior, he had a rather thick beast god bloodline. Plus, he was constantly in beast god transformation, and as he gave off a certain amount of pressure, how could he not be tyrannical? Speak, why are you looking for me? You didn't even say it in the virtual universe, and came all the way here. Luo Feng looked at Knight Qin Emperor. Big news, really big news. Knight Qin Emperor emphasized. What big news? Luo Feng asked with interest. After a long time, Luo Feng indeed had a large group of emperor friends, of which there were a few from Yanji continent. They mainly used their earth body form and used the name Yang to befriend them. Of course, the Golden Horned Beast made a few friends too, like Star Illusion Emperor. However, the few he befriended were from the more desolate races. He only befriended a total of 3. The Earthling's main body had many friends, and the one he had the closest relationship with was the Night Star King. Night Shun Emperor, a branch of the Winged Man race, an Emperor Pinnacle warrior who could teleport. He was violent and bloodthirsty and didn't easily acknowledge others. However, the moment he acknowledged someone as a friend, he was naturally very generous. After Luo Feng sparred with him, his strength gained Knight Qin Emperor's recognition. Only then did the two truly become friends. Using Knight Qin Emperor's words, your instantaneous speed is too fast. Even though I can teleport, the moment I do, you've already dodged fighting with you. Unless it's a warrior who specializes in soul attacks, it'll be very hard to hurt you. Let's talk in your cave. Knight Qin Emperor seemed very careful. So careful? Luo Feng smiled. He too sensed that something big was about to happen. He brought Knight Qin King and flew into his cave. Inside the cave, the two of them sat down. Yang, you should know some legends about the Yinkai continent, right? Night Star King transmitted his voice. Our conversation has to be transmitted. This is to prevent powerful existences with detectors that are more advanced than ours from detecting our conversation. Ha! Of course, it's rare to find a detector that's more advanced than yours on the Yanji continent. Anyway, we have to be careful. The legend of the Yanji continent. Luo Feng was stunned. You mean the altar? The Nightlife King nodded solemnly. There were many mysterious places on the battlefield of the 7-star region. Many high-end battlefields, such as the Yazi continent and the Star Tower, had some legends. For example, many sacrificial carvings could be seen on the Yazi continent. Even after hundreds of millions of years, they had not completely decayed. The energy used in them was indeed amazing. Many experts who fought in the foreign battlefields were thinking about the Yazi continent's natives. I've heard of some. Luo Feng frowned. Back when the 7th battlefield was opened, it was said that the warriors of the 4 great races swept through many regions to open the battlefield. The natives of the Yazi continent naturally fled in panic. They didn't dare resist the 4 great races because they didn't have enough time. It seems that only a portion of them managed to escape. Even more were slaughtered. The Yazi continent is most famous for its altar towers. Every altar tower is a large survival base. Many of the treasures of the Yazi continent's natives are placed in these towers. Then, they bring the towers with them as they flee. However, even after fleeing in panic, there are still some altars that didn't make it in time. Some were taken by the 4 great races back then, while others are hidden in certain regions of the Yazi continent. It's said that the altars are so mysterious that even the god energy of the universe's knights can't find them. Their detectors can't find them either. Luo Feng said, in history, there have been over 10 altars discovered on the Yazi continent. Did you find me because you found the altars? Luo Feng smiled at him. The Nightlife King's expression was serious as he nodded. Damn. Luo Feng suddenly stood up and stared at the Nightlife King. You're not lying to me? How can such a good thing fall from the sky onto me? I'm not lying, the Nightlife King said seriously. What's going on? Luo Feng looked at the Nightlife King and frowned as he smiled. You and I are indeed good friends, but these altars are the survival bases of the Yazzie continent's natives when they flee. They contain large amounts of treasures that belong to the entire race. Even though each altar only contains a small portion, it's already very exaggerated for us emperors. There's no reason to give away such boundless treasures. Every place had a story, just like the calamitous star belt, the Yazzie continent, and the Star Tower. They all had stories. The sacrificial flame continent's altar tower was very famous, and the 7th battlefield's peak battle zone, the Star Tower, had treasures that would make even king-ranked formidable martial artists go crazy. Of course, it only appeared once in many, many years. However, the probability of finding one was much higher than discovering the altar tower. You're right. Friends don't have to give away treasures like this. The Nightlife King laughed. I invited you because I think highly of your flying, dodging, and escaping abilities. If space is sealed at a critical moment, you can rely on your flying abilities to escape. I've sparred with you so many times. Your flying abilities are truly amazing. Huh? Luo Feng laughed. I'll tell you in detail, the Nightlife King said seriously. I'm fighting an alien Regis Godfiend. He's hiding deep underground. Although he's slightly weaker than me, he's still a high-level Regis Godfiend. It was a battle. I used all my skills. The ground collapsed and the space shattered. My enemy was already seriously injured. He fought with me while running and accidentally found the altar in the ground. The altar tower is mysterious and unfathomable. Even universe sovereigns can't destroy it or search it. It's the survival base of the Yazzie continent's natives. My opponent and I naturally couldn't forcefully store it in our world rings. However, on the corpses of the Yazzie continent's natives at the entrance of the altar tower, my opponent and I both discovered the talismans to enter the altar tower. We immediately fought over them. The main reason was that he arrived at the altar first and had a slight advantage. Even though I was stronger, I only obtained half of the talismans. There were 6 talismans in total. I got 3, and he got 3. According to the items we found on the corpses, one of them was ordered by the Yazzie continent's natives to enter the altar tower with the talismans. Only when 6 people with the talismans enter from 6 different directions can they open the clan's treasure. Nightlife King shook his head helplessly. My opponent and I both carried the talismans, so we were able to enter the altar tower safely. However, we could only move about in the living quarters of the altar tower. As for the place where the treasure was hidden, it was heavily guarded. 6 beings had to enter from 6 different directions. Only then could we open the door to the treasure. Nightlife King, it's very likely that these 6 beings were natives. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. The design of the altar will definitely allow 100% of the aboriginals to get the treasures. It won't let us other races get the treasures. Even with the 6 talismans, we might not be able to get them. Of course I understand what you mean, Nightlife King said. But haven't there been other warriors who obtained the altar tower in history? Anyway, the treasure trove of the Yazzie continent's natives, even though it's just one altar tower, should be comparable to a universe knight's wealth. And after countless years, some of the internal defenses have probably deteriorated. Nightlife King said, taking such a small risk to obtain such a treasure, I'll definitely give it my all. Yang, are you going? Riches come from danger. Luo Feng smiled. Let's go. Luo Feng believed he had many ways to protect himself. And since there were warriors who obtained the altar tower's treasure, why couldn't he? Let's go. Follow me to invite Tiger Thorn King. Nightlife King said. Tiger Thorn King? Luo Feng frowned. Let's go. Shwa. Nightlife King brought Luo Feng and teleported. In another distant region of the Yazzie continent, Tiger Thorn King and his team were camped in a cave within a mountain. Living in caves and underground caves were the 2 most common types. Within one of the halls, Luo Feng, Nightlife King, and Tiger Thorn King were all there. Even though Tiger Thorn King wasn't human, he belonged to the human camp and had a good relationship with Luo Feng and Nightlife King. Yang, Nightlife King, you 2 have come to my place? Tiger Thorn King communicated. You even have to communicate and forbid my underlings from coming over. Looks like it's a big deal. It's a big deal. The Night Star King began to recount the entire story again, using the sacrificial pagoda to tempt the Tiger Thorn King. Let's go. Tiger Thorn King slapped the table. With such an opportunity, how can we not fight for it? Even if we go to some extremely dangerous universe, secret regions, and risk our lives time and time again, we probably won't be able to obtain such a treasure. All right, Nightlife King seemed very excited. I'm good at teleportation. Tiger Thorn King, you're good at space sealing and a fence. Yang is good at flying. The three of us working together, with all three of us having plant life support, we'll definitely be able to obtain the treasure. We'll split the treasure according to 2. 1. How about that? Nightlife King looked at the 2. The three of us will work together to snatch the treasure. I'll take 2. You two each take 1. Tiger Thorn King and Luo Feng exchanged glances, after which they nodded and looked at Nightlife King. All right, awesome. Nightlife King laughed too. He was clear that the 2 he invited had extraordinary backgrounds. Tiger Thorn King's strength was similar to his. As for Yang's flying ability, it was indeed top-notch. Tiger Thorn King and Yang both had their own trump cards, especially Yang. Every time he saw Yang's wings flap and fly, he felt a sense of awe. If this flying technique was created by Yang, it meant that Yang's talent was heaven-defying, and he was definitely nurtured by his race. If it was taught by teacher Yang, it meant that his background was terrifying. 3 chapters completed. Tomorrow, Tomato will be attending the Qijian annual meeting. From the 25th to the 28th, Tomato's schedule won't be fixed, and he won't be able to update regularly. Usually, he'll update later, please understand.